Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tumbleweeds and Tombstones, the show where each week my players try to accuse me of killing them, and I remind them that they're already dead. Glad to see you.
Die.
Too late. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you've had a good week. We will be down a Semite tonight, as scheduling made it so. So we will miss David for today, but hopefully we'll get him back soon, and Atris will get to be here. But in the meantime, we'll make do. Danny, do we know if David wants you to roll for Atris, me to roll for Atris, or to have Atris just be absentee this episode?
I have her sheet. David has instructed me that she needs to be as much of a whore as possible. So I am seducing all of the catfish that we run into.
Vampirism, supporting sex workers from the dawn of time.
As long as you're not catfishing everyone you run into.
Exactly.
That's the NOS. So, recap. When last we saw the Obsidian Spurs, you guys had made your way back to St. Angelo from the San Miguel mission, gaining a little bit more insight as to the nature of the lupines, the fact that they are born with this gene rather than created, as the myths say. You made it back to your homestead to find out that it was not empty, as there was the little bit of smoke coming from the chimney, and it looked like there was someone sleeping downstairs. After accidentally startling a sleeping Henry, the ex-Inquisition librarian / vampire hunter that you guys had rescued from the cell underneath San Miguel mission, you reconnected with the individual, having seen disturbing images of him supposedly making some deal to get out of an interrogation and kidnapping, the nature of which is still somewhat clouded. He seemed perfectly on the mend, even more so than his normal wounds would seemingly have healed in the amount of time that you had been missing from him, telling you that he needed some time to help get some of the other Inquisition members from the Vatican off his trail and to stop others that were hunting him. You asked if he would be willing to help you guys in your fight against the lupines, to which he said he would be willing to help you with the research, but his morals just said that given the fact that there are most likely women and children and non-combatants in the base that they've established, that he wouldn't feel right about actively fighting them. Plus, he very much felt the need to ride back to the East Coast to see if his last remaining family member, his grandfather, was still alive, and seeing if he could find out what happened to him and reconnect with him, promising to return one day once that business is done, or that you were welcome to come and visit him. Beyond that, you guys were waiting for the next couple of nights to see if one of the other generals of Lord Pembroke, your secret employer, by the name of Asmodeus, as of yet not identified by which clan he is a member of, but the weapons expert of the group, was going to be coming and giving assistance and aid. You guys were also waiting for the delivery of steel from Liam's sire, and the return of Josephine, your human metal and earth witch, who you had freed from Sardo's encampment. The return of Noah, your newest compatriot of Clan Nosferatu from the Taylorsville mines. And Bartleby, the ghoul of Liam, who is terrified of rats and being sent into a rat-infested hellhole.
Hey, I did what I could to subdue it.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
Other than
else.
that, yes, because that always works. You gave him a big old, deep, cool, refreshing glass of get over it. So you guys are waiting, hoping for the return of your compatriots and the supplies you need for your plans. And that is where we jump back into tonight's episode.
We also, well, most of us did, also went and inspected that well.
Yes, I believe that was the episode prior, but yes, you guys did inspect the well at the center of town at St. Angelo, having gone down inside and it being very dark and hard to see. Atris and Wea went down inside of it, noticing that there was a caustic, almost acidic sludge similar to what you guys had discovered in the mines in St. Taylorsville, noticing that this is a big source of corruption from the Elder Nos, who is leaking out of this portal into Texas from heaven knows where. Adele, using her newer ability of astral projection, put her consciousness down into the physical plane without her body. Again, having issue without the source of light down there, but discovering that there was a hole seemingly broken into at the bottom of the well from its side, leading to somewhere, but that seeming to be where the corruption is spilling out of into the town's water source. The caustic nature of it caused Wea and Atris to want to get out of there quickly, as Wea decided that it was time to be an owl and shot out of there. As those at the top of the well notice that some of these deformed, diseased rats that they've been noticing seem to be watching you guys and purposely made some noise, as it seems like some of the townsfolk took Liam's warning to heart about needing to watch the well, as someone coming as a watchman was inspecting, and before he was able to come around the corner, Wea decided to fly into the face of danger, literally being swat at as this tiny little ball of feathered aggression was distracting the guy long enough for everyone else to escape and make it back to the homestead. So I'll say, is there anything you guys want to achieve before it's going to be about another night before Bartleby and the rest get back?
I just know that me and Henry were studying the ciphers and trying to decipher more of it, but beyond that, no.
Fair enough. Anyone else?
No, I don't have any.
Mainly rest and talking smack to my brothers and sisters here, and whistling some tunes that no one asked for. That's how Walter's gonna spend this night.
Polishing your stallion.
Making sure my stallion is pristine.
All right, I'll say the night goes in gentle talk, and it's actually kind of a moment of quiet that you guys haven't had in a while. Whistling be damned. And Liam, you and Henry spend a lot of time. It's slow going with the cipher. It's not as easy as you think. They definitely covered their tracks. But you at least feel like you're starting to make some progress with it. The following night, I'm going to say, Wea, go ahead and make your roll for the evening. And Danny, go ahead and make your roll for Atris for the nightmares.
It's willpower roll for that?
Wea, what did we decide it was for you?
Mine is difficulty 7, current willpower.
Yeah, okay.
And it's a willpower roll for Atris?
Yes.
I got 2 successes.
The dawn passes without event, and you regain a willpower point if you spent any, and you are fine.
Wow.
Atris is also fine. However, she does start to realize that this entity that she knows is the djinn that she's been carrying around is getting more and more impatient with her insistence on keeping it out of her consciousness. And she gets the sense that she has to decide what she wants to do with this thing pretty quick, of either agree to talk to it, maybe make a wish, maybe tell it to do something else.
Is there some lava nearby?
Or get rid. I mean, you could try and reactivate the Hellgate underneath San Miguel.
There's that. There's also a metal witch.
Who could open up a hole in the earth and lava there?
She could
Um,
maybe make us some lava. We
but
haven't asked.
everyone spends the night. I'm not going to make people worry too much about, because we're going to kind of go over the course of the week. I'm not going to worry too much about the expenditure of blood for waking up and everything else. We're going to assume that since you guys are in your hometown, that as you need to feed, each of you ventures out and does what you need to do to get a little bit of blood in you. So unless you're going to do something that is very taxing on your blood pool, we're just going to assume that you're able to at least maintain and upkeep as need be your normal feeding practices.
I do not use awe to make myself feel better about the attention my whistling is getting.
The only thing Liam does through the week while they're waiting is he actually restocks the carriage so that everyone has a change of clothes in the carriage.
Easy enough to do.
It's, as far as Liam knows, that's the most important backup weapons we could have on hand.
Hey, you and I have tried to come through enough doors, but we are bloody from head to toe.
So
it's gonna happen again too.
The next night passes and it gets pretty late. It gets to be about 2 a.m. ish when you start hearing the approach of horses towards the homestead.
Is that horses approaching the homestead? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hark, I believe I hear hoof prints.
Are you doing anything or are you just waiting for it to come closer?
Finally. I'm gonna walk straight out the front door and look.
Liam is just going to keep reading his books.
Is Atris staying inside, outside?
Atris will go outside to greet.
What about Adele and Wea?
I'll watch from a window.
Same.
Just
Yep.
Okay, rear windowing this thing. As the horses approach, you do see that it is Josephine with her horse with a small, not quite carriage, but it looks like there's some kind of thing that's dragging behind it where you see a couple of wooden barrels behind it. Noah and Bartleby riding back up to the homestead.
hey. Are they in shouting distance?
Yeah, I'll say they're coming up.
I don't need to be thinking better of this. My character wouldn't. I'm just gonna shout, "Hey, y'all are set for sore eyes," and Walter's gonna kind of smile and wave.
At least it's good to know they're not dead.
Those that are looking out, go ahead and give me a perception alertness roll.
Alert.
Yes, alertness. Standard diff.
Oh my god, you can't just alert in public.
I invented Palertin.
Watch me.
It's one step away from cavorting. That's a lovely mute button you've got there.
I know, I wasn't ready yet.
Oh, well, your mouth was moving. I don't know.
I was telling you that I had to re-roll something because it almost fell on the floor. And I didn't trust it.
So what's everyone else's roll?
I got 5.
I
I'm gonna roll
assume
my
I'm not.
wrist and say hello.
Yeah.
Liam's not looking, but Atris, Walter, what do you see? How many rolls?
Oh, we were also
I-
rolling for that?
Yeah,
That's what
you
we were
said the people
confused
who
about.
are looking out. So
Yeah,
I
looking out
assumed you
at
didn't
them.
mean me.
No, Walter and Atris definitely, since you're outside.
I thought you were gonna have them perceive how loud Walter was being. My bad.
Is that perception alert, as you said?
Yes, alertness.
Ooh, that makes up for that. Walter got 4.
Gotta re-roll one of them. He just got 3.
And how many, Adele? So all of you who are looking notice that the horses definitely look a little bit worse for wear. There's a couple of spots where all 3 horses are bleeding a little bit.
Oh,
Not where it's like the animal is in huge dire straits where it needs to be put out of its misery or anything like that. I'll say, Wea, especially with your 5 successes, you notice this and recognize this from when you guys had to ride through the swarm of rats, of the multiple little bite marks from sharp, small teeth that had to happen. And you get the idea that their stealth mission, while hopefully successful, didn't fully stealth them in and out. Josephine speaks up and goes, "Well, hon, it's good to see you too. Glad we made it back, and not completely unsuccessful, I might add."
Oh, that sounds promising.
yeah, y'all look like you've been through some. Well, Walter's gonna kind of look from Josephine over to Bartleby and go, "Rats."
Rats. Oh my god, rats.
I'm just, you know what? You're looking great, You're looking great, Bartleby. Did my perception include how good Bartleby looks? How's he?
I would say for that'd be a perception empathy if you want to try and ascertain that.
I just mean physically.
All 3 of them look like they've been through some shit.
Okay.
Josephine least of all, surprisingly, or maybe not. She looks the most still put together, but the rest of them look dirty, bloody. Again, not like a horror show, but it looks like they've been in a brawl.
Dang. Looks like y'all might have a story to tell, but y'all should get to come inside and get warm. Whatever.
Josephine speaks up and goes, "Well, hon, as one of the few people that still feels the cold in this group, I do appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and move my cargo into your barn if you don't mind."
It's good. I'm gonna turn to Atris and go, we should figure out how to make it warm in there.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Henry would be more than happy to start a fire for them. Yes, he wouldn't be anywhere near it.
Fire.
Well, he must have one going. I'm assuming he wouldn't be reading in the dark.
You guys do know that a fire in a fireplace, as long as you guys aren't right up on it, it might make you just kind of like a little bit at it, but unless you're right on top of it where the sparks might go, if you're far enough back from it, you've seen fireplaces before. They're kind of a necessity in this time period.
Yeah, but I don't want to light one.
Again, it's probably Henry has already lit one just to be livable in the house. This is kind of before the days of good insulation by some farmhouse that's
This is
guy
the days
made.
of yore.
Well, these were the days of Old Man Williams before you put them to an end. But
well, those days are past. I assume they're gonna go stable and come back.
Pretty much, they put the horses in, they feed the
Noah?
horses, they try to put blankets on them and clean them up a little bit. As a matter of fact, Bartleby offers to clean up the horses a bit. If you decide to go with, Josephine goes, well, hun, go ahead and look at what we got here. And she opens
I
up
do.
a couple of the wooden barrels, and inside, about a quarter of the way full of each barrel is solid silver. Just, it looks like it was liquid at one time, and then kind of like what water looks like when it freezes. It's now solid, but in each barrel, it's about a quarter of the way full of silver.
Well, that definitely looks promising. I presume you can do quite a bit with this amount.
Indeed, I can, hun. And as per our agreement, I'll be taking 2 of these barrels for myself, and the other 2 I'm going to go ahead and be making into silver bullets, or possibly mist, if I can get Liam's plan up and running for your little escapade against our furry friends.
Silver mist. Josephine, anyone ever tell you there ain't enough of you?
They have, hun, but not nearly enough.
Shoot, I wish we could get our own. I wish we could get extra Josephine sometimes, because I know we're putting a lot on your time. We found something else while y'all were gone that we still came back to think of you again, and let's just say you're on our minds a lot. So it's real good that you're on our side.
I appreciate the sentiment, hun, but I think the maker did break the mold when he did make me. But I'll see what I can do for y'all. Why don't we go ahead and get inside? I think there's a fire and a glass of whiskey with my name on it.
Sure
And
is.
Atris is going to kind of tilt her hip a little bit, going, no, I think you made the mold, and you made it well. And she's going to walk away.
Yeah, we'll tell you inside.
Bartleby
I
stays out
want to
with the
help them
horses.
like do the horse stuff too to make it faster so we can get back.
Okay, go ahead and give me a wits plus animal ken, please.
Sure. I only have 2 in that. Okay.
Do you need Bartleby to do that too?
Please.
I got 4.
Yeah. 2.
You both feel that you've done a pretty good job. However, you may want to look into seeing if there's any kind of either horse breeder or what would account as a vet in this town. Maybe it wouldn't be bad with how often you ride your animals into battle to have something around just to have on hand for future reference. However, you do feel you're able to patch them up well enough. Again, none of the horses seem like they're in mortal danger or anything like that, but you do what you can to try and stave off any chance of infection or things like that. You make sure that they're fed, they're watered, and that you put blankets on them so that way they stay warm inside the barn.
I was curious, were these ours or were these Josephine's horses?
One of them was her own, the one that she rode. The other 2 would be Noah's and Bartleby's.
Does Josephine seem like she has an above average quality horse?
Are you looking at the horse or just looking
The horse.
Perception plus animal ken.
Josephine does in fact seem like a person who would. I just, we have some questions to resolve about our lasting horse. Oh, what are all these ones? I have 1 success.
It seems like a sturdy horse. I mean, but beyond that, you don't really pick up anything super special about it. It doesn't mean that there isn't, but you're kind of excited to get back into the house and hear regale their story. So in the passing glance that you give, other than it seems like definitely an animal that can hold its weight and hold Josephine and her heavy sledgehammer and everything else. I mean, she's not a small girl, and it seems like the horse can handle what it's given.
So we finish up.
You finish up. Bartleby says, "I'll come inside, but I'm gonna go ahead and sit in the corner for a bit." And
You want some of the whiskey too?
more like if there's anything left, I'll let you know. Everybody walks inside. Henry and Liam are deep in the books, nose to the grindstone. Waya's there by the window. Adele's sitting in one of the chairs, greeting you all. Noah, you go ahead and walk in. Do you have Mask of 1,000 Faces up, or are you full nos? You are muted, my friend.
Probably full nos.
The smell of wet graveyard dirt permeates the room as Noah re-enters. A little while later, Bartleby and Josephine and
Walter and Atris.
Walter and Atris all come in. So you're all in the same room.
Yay.
So, I presume things were successful.
They were not a complete failure.
I somehow feel that needs to be our corporate motto.
We're a corporation now?
Could be.
What I saw out there didn't look like a failure to me. That looked like a hefty score, actually. And is Josephine carrying? I guess we would carry the barrels in. Yeah, we have them. I would imagine Walter would take 2 of them if Josephine has 2.
I mean, if you want to, you can. Josephine left hers out in the barns, assuming that they'd be safe enough in there, rather than hefting wine barrels full of, like, quarterway full of solid silver ore.
Didn't realize you were talking about wine barrels. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're out there. Yeah, from what I saw, it looked like y'all got a hefty score. There's a lot of silver out there.
Well, hun, it's not as much as I could have gotten, but given the circumstances, I think it was what we could get and safely return to y'all. In the meantime, Bartleby just goes and sits in the corner somewhere, pops a bottle open, and just starts drinking heavily.
Liam's gonna walk over to Bartleby and stop him for a second. He's gonna cut open his finger a little bit and drip some of the Vitae into the wine bottle for him so he can heal a bit.
Thank you very much, sir.
Walter marches over to his little nook with the whiskey bottle and just hands it over to Josephine nonchalantly.
She gladly takes it, nods to you, and takes a big, deep sip and sits down on the couch next to the fireplace and kind of starts warming herself up a bit. She looks over at Noah and goes, "Well, hun," and then she looks at you and goes, "Oh, sorry, it's going to take me a day or two to get used to that. You want to tell them everything that happened, or should I go ahead and give them all the fun details?"
I don't think I'd tell it as well as you will.
Tell the truth. You just like listening to her voice.
There were rats. There was rats.
I say we let Bartleby tell us.
If I never have to do that again, it'll be too soon. One definitely got up my leg. Don't like it.
Well, hun, if you want me to tell it, I'll be happy to tell the tale. So there we were. We go ahead and this gentleman over here, she nods to Noah, helped disguise us as we were riding up, but those critters, they seemed my ornery, if you catch my recollection. She goes on to say how the rat seemed extremely aggressive even towards Noah, but you were able to get your way through, keep the horses calm on the entrance, found a place that, Noah here did tell us of a place that he thought would be far enough away from the entrance and all the secret exits of the mine. And we posted up there as I started my ritual. But those rats did decide to come and investigate the situation, and the boys did a good job of killing off most of the scouts. But unfortunately, one I think spooked Bartleby over there and got away, and I had to break concentration and a little bit of talking to the earth. I was able to squeeze that grape a little bit before I was able to tell the others, but I think the smell of the dead ones attracted more of the live ones, and we had to hightail it out of that spot. And we went on to a new location for a bit, and Bartleby there was quick on his feet and thought that we should maybe set up a couple of trip traps in case any of the friends of Noah decide to come poking around all invisible like. One of the traps sprung and there was 3 of them there, and I kept on the spell so that way the silver was feeding into my barrels. I had to go slow because I didn't want the earth to move too much and alert them. Bartleby and Noah fought most of them off, killed one of them, turned him to ash as Bartleby jumped on his back and started giving him a good what for in the liver there. And Noah was able to knock one in the face after he bashed him good and proper with that shovel of his, and then cut off his head with the serrated bit of it. Then the boys started asking some questions, and Noah, I'm going to let you take over because I was a bit too focused on the spell to really know what was going on right there.
Well, we started beating the heck out of them, and we learned some things. We learned he didn't like getting punched. But more importantly, we're losing a lot of followers to Clementine. He used to be one of Michael's men and had to take him down. I don't feel good about that, but we're going to have to do what we have to do.
So you your friend before?
I didn't know him, but he certainly didn't seem to follow Clementine before she came around. So, other than that, we also found out that the elders trying to spread his influence and is sending secret messages out to Taylorsville or outside of Taylorsville.
But Taylorsville, nothing can get in or out of there without dying. Right?
I definitely saw horse hoof prints, fresh.
Bartleby speaks up at this point and goes, apparently some of them, the ones loyal to this Clementine and this elder, are starting to wear these necklaces with a vial of the elder's blood around it. Those who wear that can get in and out of the swarm of rats without being harassed.
Yeah, well, maybe it's it's been a while since we've actually been to the little town we were sent here to secure.
No, I'm pretty sure they ate
Hasn't
the
it?
horses by now.
Maybe if there's a way for us to get our hands on some of these necklaces.
Well, we got 2 of them on this trip.
Nice.
Ooh.
That's a free ticket into the mountain.
And you got to be careful with these. Ooh, the other one smashed, and that hurt a mighty bit. You do not want these exposed anywhere around you.
Did you get the black stuff on you?
I heard the elder's voice inside my head. It was like he was me, but he wasn't.
Oh, I've done that to quite a few people. It's a little tingly.
Bartleby speaks up again and goes, "Sir," and as he's looking to Liam,
Yes.
he also mentioned that Reggie has been in and out of the mines a couple times.
Oh, that little son of a bitch. We really need to kill him hard.
It's
Which-
also worth noting, I'm sure you all remember the bison stampede that happened here a little bit ago.
Vividly.
You could say that.
Seems the nature of the messages that are coming in and out of Taylorsville from the Elder to this other entity are mostly secret, but that little experience was them trying out their powers together to control the animals.
So wait, so the elder is matching his power with Clementine's to see if they can boost their signal?
Not Clementine. Clementine's just a pawn being used to further the Elder's will. There's apparently another party involved, and it's combining its power with the Elder's in order to have more influence. The animals, the bison, reacted the way they did. That vial that Reggie apparently smeared on the rock was the combination of their abilities, not just the elders alone.
It's the elder and Reggie?
No, it seems to be someone outside, maybe closer to town.
Yeah, seems like a second party.
I was
No.
gonna say he never struck me as that powerful on his own, or even with help.
No,
Reggie.
no. Just out of curiosity, your unique scent. Granted, I haven't been around too many of your clan, but do most of you have your own characteristically defining odor?
No, that's just something I got from home.
uh,
Where you would know, though, that forget about Nos, just people in general usually have their own scent, and someone that can lock on to something with heightened senses, like an animal or something like that, might be able to follow that.
Unless someone's actively tracking you. But it is possible, so Noi could do it.
Definitely possible. Is there a way that we could wipe the scent trail a little bit off back there?
well, I'm mostly wondering if we can use that central to find whoever this additional associate is. Because if we can sever that, we can at least greatly diminish their power.
I think that's a good idea. We need to eliminate the second party. Buy us some time.
Another big drink from Bartleby as he goes, and sir, there's one last thing. Seems we found out the reason for this corruption other than just for this being to seem to enjoy it. He wants to come pay a visit. He's
To Texas?
yes.
Really?
Apparently,
All right.
the portal down in the mines that leads to wherever he is also something of a gate that's keeping him from being able to come through. But the more his corruption spreads, the more his power and influence grows. And if it grows strong enough, he's able to break the seal and come on through.
I heard rumors that he's got the Methuselah's hunger. And that could not bode well for my clan.
Everyone in the room, go ahead, give me, other than Noah, give me a int plus occult roll, please. Difficulty is standard.
1.
It's a real easy roll to finish here. Botch.
Four.
Liam got 1. Atris got 4.
Wea and Liam, you've heard of it before, but right now it's not coming to mind. Walter, you're sure? Is it steak? Is that what they're hungry for? Is it steak?
It's
I bet
what's
it's
for dinner.
steak.
The ladies in the group, however.
Atris and Dell have heard of the Methuselah's thirst, and it's something that a lot of younger Nos fear about the older, younger vampires in general fear about their elders, in the same way that you guys can drink animal blood, other than Liam, and it'll give you some sustenance, but not a whole lot. There's a condition where if a vampire gets old enough, suddenly human blood doesn't quite cut it for them anymore either. And what they really need to sustain themselves is the vitae of other vampires. And that's known as the Methuselah's thirst. It's why Gehenna, the vampire doomsday prophecy, is that the antediluvians are going to wake up and have such a strong thirst that they're basically going to drink all of their bloodline and devour them all.
See, I always thought Gehenna was one of those sexually transmitted diseases. Nope, that's gonorrhea. Never mind.
So yes, that's what Noah's suggesting, is that this Nos elder is feeding off of other kindred.
See, this is why I love being an Semite. This is never an issue for our clan. Can't even drink our own blood without having it be a pain in the ass.
Well, as far as I understand it, it might not just be our own clan's blood he might be after.
Oh no, it's any kindred in general. Just my clan unfortunately cannot imbibe other vitae without having severe reactions that are very painful. Huh. Oh, so this elder is eating his babies, as it were.
That's what it seems. We're losing 3 to 4 kindred that were just sent to the portal, never to be seen again.
Don't we have a rather large contingent of crazy vampires coming up from Mexico? Meals on Wheels, maybe? No. Those make it worse.
I fear those might be the people he associates with.
So we have a crazy elder that's coming through a portal that might be working with the Sabbat nearby.
At this point, Henry looks up and goes, "None of our research seems to suggest that the Sabbat are working with this entity, though I guess anything's possible. But something of this age, I doubt, is really affiliated with one group or the other, though I must admit the politics of your kind is not really something that the Inquisition has studied too much other than a cursory glance. They're more concerned on how to kill you as a species rather than looking at the interpolitical structure.
Well, that might have been where you went wrong. Vampire politics is quite brutal, and it will result in a lot of death.
So it's like politics.
Yes, only somehow more humane.
Noted, and he goes back to studying.
Well, we're going to have to find a way to sever this connection with whoever this is, but we're going to have to find them.
Maybe we can observe them coming in and out of the mountains somehow.
I'm curious if this whatever this creature is that is aligned themselves with this elder, if it's magnifying their power, they may have to be here, and it's somehow their power is getting boosted up. They may be closer to us than we realize.
I fear that is the problem. We don't know who attacked the well yet, do we?
No, but we explored in there a little bit, and we found that there's a passage that connects to the water source, and it looks like it's been deliberately broken to force some of that black ichor into the water source.
So
Henry's-
it seems the elder really does have an ally over here, someone willing to do his bidding.
Henry speaks up and goes, that's possible. However, I did offer a counter suggestion that if he's able to make certain anchors of his ability through certain rituals, if you find the anchor and sever it, his expanse of his power might also dwindle as well. It's equally possible that even without the connection of this other entity, that if he's established some kind of sigil or marker that's allowing his power to be bolstered and spread, that might be, because as I said before, I don't believe that there is a connection from the water source near Taylorsville that runs all the way north to here in St. Angelo.
It was placed.
Indeed. And if you find where it's placed and sever it or break it in somehow, his hold over this city might be a little bit weaker.
Walter, Weah, please correct me if I'm wrong. But didn't you say that before the stampede happened that Reggie was smearing a sigil of some of that black ichor nearby, and that's when it happened?
Yeah,
Sure
it
did.
happened outside of town.
Is it possible that signal is still there?
Well, you could definitely double check. We can get there very quickly. Shouldn't take very long.
Didn't look like a rock that got regularly cleaned, if that's what you're asking.
Just unfortunately, right now, that's all I really can consider to go by. I honestly don't know enough about Adele's ability to even suggest going onto the spirit plane and seeing if she can find something. I'm not even sure if that's possible.
Well, we got another task to complete tonight then. This definitely cannot wait. It's something we should handle immediately.
I also don't know if it's possible. I've used it once.
Mhm.
And not
Want to make it? Want to make it twice?
At least you know your body's being watched here.
Sure is.
Josephine speaks up. Hun, with a figure like that, I'm sure her body is being watched many places.
Yeah, I think she's being watched all the time. Just here, it's more friendly than other places.
I have a feeling that soon we're gonna have a lot of binoculars.
All right, so Adele, are you going to try and use your astral projection again?
Sure.
Go ahead and make the roll. Decide whether or not you're going to be on the physical or the spiritual plane, and then let me know where you want to go.
Before you go, Adele, and only because I remember Elizabeth saying something to this effect, you may be able to see more. I'm not sure, something more mystical if you're on the spirit plane rather than the physical one.
You want me to give you directions?
That'd be helpful.
My only concern is that you've never been there, and we've only been there once.
I kind of know the area. I can at least try. We could try. Thing is, I'd like to proceed to give her directions.
Okay. Give me a wits plus survival roll, Walter, to kind of give your best description of where this place was.
Can I assist him?
Sure. I'll say between the two of you, it's only going to be diff 5.
What was the roll one more time?
Well, you don't have to make the
Wits
roll way out.
survival.
Walter's making the roll,
Okay.
but you're
Alright.
assisting him.
Oh,
So it's going to be diff 5 for him. Or
Since-
you can both make the roll at diff 6.
since both of us
follow him.
have open road, does that lower our diff at all as well?
Not really. I mean, that's you knowing where to go and where to say. This is how well you're good at explaining that
Oh boy.
to Adele.
All right. Are you rolling as well, or are you just lowering my
No,
diff?
I'm lowering your difficulty.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that, because I rolled 1 success in total on that.
Adele, by God, if Walter wasn't trying his best kind of thing. But a lot of it is cowboy colloquialisms and things like that. Wea
There's a lot of
tries to,
yonders in there.
You're so pretty.
and a lot of, well, if you mosey on a bit this way, and Wea tries to give a little bit more direct, as someone who's had a little bit more experience with like tracking and those kind of things, he tries to give a little bit better descriptors so that way you at least get it. But let's just say that Walter isn't the best about painting mouth pictures. And
Not that rock, the other rock.
there's that one rock that kind of looks like that one feller, you know, the one with the face. Yeah, he kind of looks like that.
That's a nice boulder.
And then you go on and there's that one cactus, and that one cactus kind of looks like this. And
Well, if we need to, we can always just ride there.
but Adele, that is the description you've been given, so go ahead and make your roll.
There we go.
What is the difficulty?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be give it that description. Difficulty 7.
Hooray.
All right, so you close your eyes and concentrate as once again you feel that sensation of your essence leaving your physical body. Only this time you go even deeper. You decide to go past the physical plane and go into the spiritual plane. Still a little bit, I mean, it's going to take you a while before the sensation of feeling nothing reaches you. And as you look around, suddenly the faces of your companions and the walls and floor and ceiling kind of fade away into almost this mist. You're in this dark ethereal plane with little wisps of bluish white light that come in this almost like mist that blows through. And you feel, you know what you're looking for. You're looking for any kind of thing that looks off or whatever. You've sensed this corruption in the past. I will say that you go past where you assume town is, and you see old buildings that you know aren't quite there anymore. The setup of the town, it's almost like these spiritual, like greenish white pale buildings are there. And again, everything looks like it's made out of mist. There's nothing physical. And you quickly get the idea that these are buildings that were constructed that are no longer there. And you've heard stories, whether they be ghost stories or otherwise, of emotions seeping into places. And you get the idea that that imprint of those life experiences and emotions have left these spiritual kind of reminiscent structures kind of sitting there. You see the town well, and you see almost this pit of black, almost like this tumorous astral aura, as you see these black veins starting to spiderweb their way out from the center of the well. But that's not where you decided that you were going to send your astral projection, so it zooms past it. But you definitely keep that in mind as something that maybe will warrant further investigation later on. And you go to the spot. Go ahead and give me a
roll for.
I'm gonna say wits plus occult. You're basically trying to ascertain from the directions and everything else where you're supposed to go.
Standard.
Yes.
Three.
It takes you some time, and there's definitely a couple times where this is a whole nother level of weird being on this spiritual thing. Usually when you're connected with an item or you're searching something with spirit's touch, it helps focus you in on a very specific vision or direction. This one, your essence just floating around, you can see pathways that lead off, some of them lit in different color arrays. Every so often you see a ball of different colored light going past you. There's so many things that are very distracting, and you very much every so often realize that if you focus too much in on something, your consciousness starts drifting towards it and picking up speed, and you have to snap yourself back out of it. And you realize that the danger of being in this realm is if you don't have hyper focus on where you're going or what you're looking at, it would be very easy to get lost in this astral plane. But you go back and it takes you some time, and eventually you get to the generic location of where and Walter were describing. And a little bit it helps that you knew which direction the bison stampede came from, so you're kind of sussing out through that different bits of information and piecing it together. Eventually you find the rock that kind of matches the description you were given, and you drift towards it. First off, some time has passed and snow has been accumulating on top of this, so it's not as clear as it was when you guys were there before. But you do look, and there's a little bit of snow and ice a bit on this rock, and you see. Actually, give me a perception plus investigation, a perceptigate roll. Difficulty is going to be 7 because of the ice and stuff that's been covering stuff.
This is astral ice.
Ass ice.
Sorry, what was the difficulty again? Ass ice made me laugh too hard.
7.
Oh,
It's very faint, but you look at where the boulder should be. Again, it's one of those things of the boulder isn't actually physically there, and you get the idea that the boulder itself isn't giving up much of an aura, so it's kind of not there. What you do see is little specks of line. And at 4 successes, you get that this is where the sigil was. It's giving off a very, very faint aura that looks a little bit black mixed with red, and in the sense of not the normal auras that you read off of people or things, but a little bit of that corruption from the elder mixed with something else that as of yet you haven't run into, so it's hard for you to define it. However, what you get from your roll, whatever was put here wasn't strong enough to maintain itself. That once the ritual was completed, it did what it needed to do, and then most of it burnt away. That it was kind of like more of like a flashbang rather than a steadily burning fire. It's not, and from what you vaguely know from what your talks with Patrick and other magic users have told you in the past, it takes a lot of mojo to keep a spell permanently going rather than just it flaring up, doing what it does, and then fading away. So what you're getting is almost the last little bits of what's still left behind, but that most of it has burnt away and done what it's needed to do.
okay. Not
Is there anything else you want to do while in the astral plane? Realizing you know that what you've been warned about from Elizabeth is the longer you stay in this plane, the harder it is to come back to your body, because you're not even connected on being, astral, but on the physical plane.
seeing as it's my first time on this one and second time overall, I'm good. I'm coming back.
Is there a role for coming back to your body? Sure.
I'll read it.
I don't think it's a roll. I think it's a willpower expenditure to pop in and out.
It says top 1 willpower point per scene. I have to spend 1 willpower and roll perception awareness. Says what the different difficulties are. It's 1 extra willpower if I want to be seen or heard.
Yeah, the roll just happens when you leave.
Yeah, you just don't want to botch on this roll. Okay. I will say your consciousness snaps back into your body as Adele comes back up, and you are back in the room with everyone kind of all poignantly looking at you.
So there's definitely some spell work there, even if it's not. I like how something still you spill something and sometimes it's still sticky a little bit later. So it's definitely spell being used in that area.
Hmm. Well, did you see anything else while you were out and about?
It was weird. The whole town looks like it was mist. Like none of the buildings were solid. It was certainly strange. Nothing like I've ever seen before, that's for sure.
So other than where they initially drew that sigil, nothing else looked odd or off?
You could see the whole town with like the people in it.
I will say, as a reminder to Adele, the well definitely seemed like a center point, and that there was something leading from the well. Adele, go ahead and make a wits plus perception. No, sorry, wits plus just a straight wits roll, just wits.
I got 2 10s. Hold on. It's canceled out with 2 1s.
You know there was something about the well, but unfortunately you're not able to remember. There's something that's nagging at your mind. There's something that you saw before when you were in astral form the first time that made you go, oh God, I need to remember that. And then you got too distracted by the rest of the astral plane and forgot it. But there's definitely something about the well that's nagging at, besides the fact of it, this black aura with the spider webbing of this corruption coming out from it. There was something else about it that you were like, I need to investigate this more, and some connection to the first time you went there in astral form. Something that's connecting the astral and the physical, but beyond that, it's like, crap, I can't think of it. Again, you're literally just a consciousness in space. It's kind of distracting, and it's making it hard for you to piece the puzzle pieces together.
Got it. There was a well, and there was something I wanted to remember about it. But that mist was real shiny, y'all. It was real pretty. You haven't seen anything like this. It was weird. I don't know, maybe there's something about the well that's important.
So we're going to have to go back into a hole again, it seems. Only my shoes are still ruined from the last time, and we couldn't see anything down there. I mean, it's filled with water. How are we even going to take a lantern down there?
Josephine speaks up at this point and goes, well, Hans, if it's light you need, I've been pondering over this idea for a bit, knowing how much y'all aren't too big of fans of fire, and there's a spell I know that can give a kind of a glowing effect. Unfortunately, you need to do it during a full moon in order to get it to work.
Well, that will be helpful in half a month.
Anyone, I'll let one person do it. Give me a int plus survival roll to try and remember what phase of the moon you're at.
And
I'll
I
pull-
know Walter just got this info like a
Yeah.
game and a half ago.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was like halfway to next full. Like he just said, actually.
Yeah, I'd say it's about 2 weeks till the next full moon.
Well, but you're not able to do that spell on for your own for then, because this is one of the things I wanted to ask you. Maybe one of the reasons I wish there were more of you, because when it comes to hunting around for things under the earth, there's not that many people I'd ask.
Hun, I'm able to look at things under the ground and kind of sense that they're there without the need of any kind of light. But this spell borrows some of its mojo, so to speak, from the light of the moon itself and imbues its light into an object. And for it to be bright enough to do any good, it's got to be when the moon's at its brightest during the full moon.
Well, that's definitely an option for later. But currently, and granted, I apologize, I'm not sure entirely how this works. I know I've seen you use your hammer quite a bit, and when you do use it, it lights up like the dickens. Do you have to be the one to wield it for that to happen?
Unfortunately, hun, that is true. I need to be the one holding John Henry in order to get him to light up for me.
I don't think you want to try taking Josephine's hammer anytime soon.
No, but I also didn't want to necessarily suggest she go down into that well either.
You guys all also know that, just logically speaking, to try and go into the hole that's in the side of the well down below is probably going to have to be something that only the vampires can do. It's not going to be a Bartleby, Henry, or Josephine thing, mainly because one, it's underwater and only you guys don't have to hold your breath. Two, it's in the middle of winter, so the lava's frozen, so only you guys aren't affected by cold temperature. And three, logic speaking, there's probably going to be a lot of ice in parts that are kind of frozen over. And if you guys have to spend time under the water chiseling away at ice, you need someone that doesn't need to hold their breath.
I
Idea.
was hoping to go the groundbreaking route, but without
Do
so
we
much breaking. But
do we
Yeah.
have any sticks of explosive?
Yes, we do.
now you're talking.
Blow up
Is
the
there
well,
something we can
yes.
do to waterproof that fuse?
Josephine.
Shug, I'm an earth witch, not a water witch. That's not quite my wheelhouse of abilities. But if y'all have one of your fancy smancy species gifts, then you can go ahead and try that if that'll work.
I have one idea. I'm not certain how well it will work. But those green crystals that we brought back from Sardos, I know that we've already spoken that they can temporarily be imbued with something as long as that energy is focused on them. I know that we have to wait till the full moon for that other effect for it to be permanent. But is there any way we can get John Henry to light up one of those crystals, even if it's temporarily?
That might actually work. I can't guarantee. We haven't tested it yet, but yeah, that's something that might just work, hun.
Well, then we have at least an idea. I honestly wouldn't mind going down that well. I know that I can take quite a bit of damage before it actually really starts to affect me that much.
Josephine, would you happen to have like a maybe like a metal cable we can use as an industrial rope?
I can't say that I have just one of those lying around. It's definitely something I might be able to make given some time, but usually rope does me just fine for when I need, rope.
I mean, we have rope in the barn. You could always braid it and knot it a bit, make it much sturdier.
Sure, we can do that. Be fine.
Yeah, you
It's just
guys
this
get the
whole
idea that the rope
going
broke
in.
last time because it was only meant to be strong enough to hold a bucket.
Yeah. I think we can do better than what was set up there. Just anyone crawling into that water and being surrounded in it. I just worry you're gonna let something in and maybe get talked to, like Noah here said.
Well, I tend to be very good at being able to resist, granted not fully, but I am quite difficult to get into that way.
We have a volunteer. Fantastic. I was thinking it'd be a lot harder than this. Liam, when would you like to go?
Well, the only thing I want to do first is make sure that we can see if John Henry can light up one of those green crystals. And Atris pipes in. No, yes, I will go to the barn and I will start getting the rope ready because I'll make sure it's plenty knotted and braided. Last time that was ridiculous what I had to deal with. Not all of us can become fucking owls at our whim.
Hoot hoot, motherfucker.
Just out of curiosity, do you have enough fortitude to withstand one of these boomsticks?
Well, I did fall down a giant cavern and got impaled by a stalagmite and barely survived. That was fun.
Wait, are we turning you into a bomb?
Yes,
We might
Noah
need
actually
someone to
Noah wants
time
me
it.
to blow up the well from the inside.
You know we can just put a bomb down there and then leave, right?
I just don't think the town will be too kindly about us blowing up the well.
Yeah, it's kind of why I was looking for another way here.
Well,
But if there's something to
Josephine,
look for,
Now, Noah, I will say this. Quite often, my plan is just blow it up, and I appreciate this very much.
yeah,
But not
this is a
this
whole
time.
new Liam for me.
all
The
right,
next
let's see what we do.
Yeah, no, next train heist, just blow it up. It'll be easier.
If all we're blowing up though is the little tunnel coming in this hole, and that collapses, then as long as we don't wreck the well, then we're doing the area a favor, right?
Maybe, but if the dynamite wicks get wet, then they might not be useful at all. We don't really have a way of waterproofing those.
And that's why we time it so well.
Well, I wouldn't be opposed to us having that as a backup plan either way, but I can definitely.
How far down would we have to dig just to drop something down to that?
What it was what 30 feet, Sean?
Yes, it's about 30 feet from the uh, edge of the well down to where you hit solid earth.
Something got to be done for these folks all get poisoned or worse.
No, I think that's already happened. With as much corruption as you guys said was down there, I'm pretty sure they've all been drinking the water already.
Some's worse than others. Whatever will put a stop to it's going to help. With the toxin, it matters how much you get.
I think it might be a lesser evil, even if we do blow it up. That it's better blown up than used. at this point.
How are they gonna
That's
get
the
water?
spirit. With a new well, a cleaner well.
I mean, Josephine can always just make a new well, right?
She looks at you and takes another big swig of her whiskey. Hun, are you adding another task on my list?
I mean, if we blow it up, yeah, probably. That's an if, though. So, I mean,
I'm gonna go back to my house with my silver and bring back some of those crystals. Y'all just sit tight and go easy on the order list. You're racking up quite a debt. And she
You
gives
can
you
take
all
that with you. Walter's motioning at her bottle.
already was, hun, as she walks out with the bottle of whiskey. And you hear her go into the barn, and a couple minutes later, you hear her ride out with the horse. You assume that she probably left your guys. She actually probably took all the silver with her, just knowing that half of it is for her to sell or do with what she wishes. The other half she's holding for you guys to make into weapons or bullets or other things you guys want against the lupines. So it's just the rest of you there. Are you waiting for her, or what are y'all doing while you're waiting for her to get back?
Well, Atris is braiding the rope.
One of y'all needs to learn earth magic. That's what I'm getting out of
I
this.
regret not playing a mage.
You know, it's funny, and because I know David kind of forgets that he has this. At some point while we were in the mission, David got a scroll to control a tiny golem.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember.
How
Make
tiny?
the golem blow up the dynamite.
Yeah, I
Well-
will say, just so you all remember, this is your common sense for the night. None of y'all are going to want to be anywhere near where that dynamite explodes if you don't want to have to make a pretty severe frenzy check.
Hey,
Well,
combustion isn't the same as inflammation.
Hey, my
We'll
vote
be
is for
fine.
my vote is for Liam to jump in the well with a shiny crystal to see if there's anything else he can get out of there before we try and blow it up.
Can't we
This
just
one's storming
collapse?
the castle.
Can't we just collapse the well?
I mean, we can. We just won't know what else is coming in or out of there.
I mean, we can check it out first.
We just got to make sure the town has water.
Hey,
We're
I'm
gonna
okay.
do all that.
I'm okay with investigate first and blow up right after.
It would keep people more safe in one way, though.
Well, I'm just saying it's gonna make a lot of noise too. Don't we want to make this kind of a?
Do we have any critters we don't like?
I'm not
There's a lot
sending
of
an
rats.
animal
Like rats?
down a well with a dynamite stick.
Like, we have been cruel people to humans, never to animals.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll drink blood from another being, but sending an animal on a suicide mission with a bomb just seems a little too far.
A little bit.
Not even one of them rat ghouls from the elder dude.
Well, we don't control those.
Yeah, good luck mentally fighting the controller of them.
Oh, you can't overcome this crazy elder's power yet.
Not of a being of that magnitude.
No, I could feel it. We are not ready for this.
Yeah, that is the last thing I want to do.
So I wonder how good Josephine is at digging holes real quick, because 30 feet's real deep. I can dig real fast, but it starts being a pain to get the dirt out
I mean,
of the hole.
I can summon an army of gophers.
You can?
I mean, I've never, summoned gophers before, but I'm pretty sure it'll work the same way.
Our gopher's local.
Oh, you can summon gophers.
Bunnies dig too, isn't that right?
Yeah, but how fast?
Henry looks up for a brief second about all this, and he just and goes back to reading. He just chooses not to comment on any of this.
Liam looks at Henry and goes, yes, we somehow killed all of your generals.
Well, combat's a little more straightforward.
Hey, y'all dug those tunnels before we got there. Y'all did that work. What do we look like? Grave diggers? Well, Walter just kind of stares over at Noah for a minute.
Well, I guess we don't smell like them. Oh, wait.
Looks back to Wea. Looks back to Noah. maybe I should just take a shovel. If we get deep enough and explode something down it, maybe it'll collapse at least that hole and stop whatever streams coming in. Y'all said there's only one hole inside of the well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
and all
this
that
is
is all you saw was one collapsed hole in there.
maybe this is more simple than we're making it out to be. All right. I'm gonna walk. I assume all of our tools are in the barn and not in the house. So I'm gonna walk out to the barn and look for a currently good shovel.
Easy enough. I'll say there's a shovel there. In the meantime,
Yeah.
for Atris, roll a Dex plus Craft.
Holy crap, she has Dex.
You learning that, huh?
Well, because she's got 5 in Dex plus 2 celerity.
It's a way of life for some of us.
But no craft.
Diff 8, she has never made rope before, so she is guessing at it.
Well, she's not making rope.
Making
rope is there. She's just braiding it and tying knots.
She is braiding and tying knots and trying to have the knowledge of how to do so that way it stays together.
I mean, she has hair and she is girl. You said diff 8?
Yep.
I've got a 9, a 10, and an 8 so far, so that's 3. And let me just reroll that 10. Another 9, so 4.
Good Lord.
In her time in the Middle East and the Ottoman Empire, she has been to the ocean, and she has, for some of her missions, had to travel from one place to another and been on ships for some of her different things. Hell, she had to be on a ship to come out here to the Americas. So she's been around rope. She's gotten a bit of knowledge from different people. And actually pretty adaptly, she is sitting there tying the rope, doubling it up on itself, retying it and weaving it and braiding it in such a way that rather than just a piece of rope, it is this knotted, almost elongated monkey's tail of this stronger, thicker rope that is at least 30 feet. So it'll reach down to the bottom.
And she just looks at Walter. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Oh, yes.
You did this?
I'm a woman of many talents. But I'm glad we're doing this rather than doing something stupid like blowing it up or something. Oh.
Yeah, we're not going to blow up the whole well.
I'm going to pretend like I didn't hear that.
No, we're not going to blow up the whole well.
I'm going to pretend like I believe you. I want very badly to believe you.
That's good. It's good. It's good to have trust and belief in your gang. Walter's gonna start looking for a shovel. Find one.
Yeah, it's easy enough to find one. That's
Cool.
not a hard tool to come across.
We haven't used one in a bit.
You remember how it works.
We used one. Well, I just meant like for us to keep inventory of our tools. We never really talked about it for like Old Man Williams' place.
I would say the fact that the guy's a farmer, a shovel would probably be in the repertoire of things that he had lying around.
I'm glad. I just remembered like after the fact, I think we used someone else's shovel at the like Golden Spur trading post or whatever it was. So yeah. All right. So
I think you guys also used the shovel to help bury him and the cow somewhere in the backyard.
Oh
probably.
yeah.
Buried a man
I'm-
with his own shovel.
I'm pretty sure I carried a shovel into the house on my back.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, there still is Noah's serrated shovel.
Walter knows. I'm being a little too meta, but you know, Walter knows better than to just assume borrow or familiarity with another man's tools like that. That one seems particularly precious to you. But yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I have a second shovel, and I'll spare another kind of gaze at Atris's handiwork here, and do that. It might possibly still come in handy. Do you have a better idea for how we plugged that hole? I guess that's what I want to ask.
Honestly, at the moment, I don't. I mean, unless we know how large the hole is or if it even goes anywhere. It was too dark to see down there in the first place. I'm not even sure if it goes into a passage of something else.
The stuff coming out of that hole is bad, though, right?
No, it absolutely is. It was definitely very uncomfortable, and my shoes paid the price.
Well, we'll see, but it's good to have. Dang, that's a work of art. Walter scratches his head, through his hat, I guess, and walks out with a shovel, walks back to the house.
I'll say about 10 minutes later, you hear a horse coming back, and it's Josephine, and she's returned. And she walks in, and she has her sledgehammer that has the arcanic runes carved into the head of it, as she puts it down and gets out a little piece of leather and rolls it out onto one of the tables. And sitting in there are about 5 to 6 inch pieces of the shards of this greenish crystal that came from when Sardo was in his earth golem form and fighting you guys. About 5 or 6 inches long, about 1.5 to 2 inches thick. And it seems like these are some shavings that she's broken off from the bigger gems that you guys made. And she goes, well, Hans, I guess if we're going to try it, might as well give it a shot.
Ooh,
And
I can't wait to see this.
you see her look as she concentrates, and just her pupils glow this bluish white energy for just a second, and you see the head of the hammer glow, and it's not a blinding light or anything like that. It's very much this soft, pale light that's just illuminating the immediate, like a foot or two around the head of this hammer as the sigils kind of flare up on it. It's a very soft glow, easy on the eyes, very much like very bright moonlight, if not a little bit brighter. And she touches it very carefully. She chokes her hand up near the head of the sledgehammer and touches it gently to one of the crystals and kind of holds it there for a minute or so, as suddenly you start to see the crystal start to glow with this same light.
You sure do know how to put on the show.
One of the things I pride myself in. And she pulls it back, and you see that it glows her a bit, and she goes, now what we do is we go ahead and wait. And she stares at it for a bit. Do any of you guys do anything while you're waiting, or are you just kind of staring at the crystal?
Lima is definitely paying attention.
Yeah, paying attention.
You guys wait, and The crystal lasts for about 10 minutes until the glow fades and it turns back to its regular dull greenish color.
All right. So if we're gonna do this, we need this done just before one of us goes in. And while I hate to ask, that might mean you have to go with us into town just to be nearby to make this happen. Would that be all right?
I don't mind being nearby. I'm just not going down that hole.
Oh, no. I'll definitely go hole diving myself.
I've heard that about you. Well, if we're going to do this tonight, it's getting pretty late, Huns, and I've had quite a couple nights adventuring with these boys over here. She gestures to Noah and Bartleby. So if we're going to do this, let's go ahead and get going with it.
Oh, and then your steel should be arriving, actually, either tomorrow or the next night, but it's on its way.
Well, I look forward to getting to work with it.
Should we travel by map? Da, 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 da.
So I need to know, is everyone going on this? And are you asking Bartleby to come with, or are you going to let him stay at the homestead?
I'm letting Bartleby rest. Pretty sure he's exhausted and a little shell-shocked.
I want to bring a dynamite stick. I'm going to ask who has one, because I don't.
Liam does.
Yeah. So do you agree to bring it?
Yes. Because as much as Danny thinks this, like, no, Liam's like, no, this will be fun.
Henry looks up from all of you and goes, if you don't need me necessarily, I think I'll stay here and continue trying to finish this cipher for y'all.
I think what you're doing is important.
I do apologize. Just you might not be able to get much help out of Bartleby. Unfortunately, he can't read.
That's all right. I'm quite adept to working with myself.
Gonna leave that. Just gonna leave that comment alone. That's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, polish your horse, and he goes back to reading. Is everyone else going to the well?
Sonoy?
Yes, I'm going to the well.
I'd like to ask Adele if she has found anything else out about the fancy boxes we retrieved when I first met up with you guys.
We have something to talk about while we go out to the well.
We got a good handle on the Piper float. And then there is a map that's in Greek. We didn't check the monocle.
And we didn't check a vase.
And there's 5 things.
Yeah.
I can check those.
So we're missing the vase, the monocle, and the map.
The map is the one thing that Liam's holding on to because he knows his sire would be very happy with it.
Yeah, I'd have to double check my notes on what you guys found out from each of the items. Unless, Adele, you have that somewhere in your notes.
Yeah, I think we only delved into the map and the flute. I don't think we delved into the rest of them quite yet.
You kind of looked at the knife. I think you looked at the knife.
That's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
You looked at the knife. You looked at the flute. And I forget what you came up with from the map. I'm trying to. I vaguely remember from that. I have to just check my notes.
Yeah, we knew it was in ancient Greek, and we got something off of it. I just don't remember exactly what.
It was something to do with the Assamite homeland.
Yep. It was, yeah, an area that Atris would have known.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fitting, given where it came from.
Yes.
But the rest of us don't know that. That's meta.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that Adele found out, and Atris kind of was like, "Oh shit."
Oh.
But
Never mind.
as far as the knife, I know you guys got some information off of that, of basically seeing that it seemed to have some kind of bloody history with it, and it seems
that knife is hungry.
Yeah. The knife is hungry and it needs to be fed, but the more you feed it, the more you get out of it. And then the flute seems to have very much a hypnotic ability to it.
A very Pied Piper-ish.
Yes, specifically. All right, so you're all going to the well?
Yes.
Is Sonoy coming?
He's not coming in the middle of town, no.
Oh, is it in the?
The well is kind of like in the
How
middle of town.
close is it to? Oh,
The
Yeah,
well is kind
near
of dead
town.
center in the center of town.
This is why I didn't think blowing it up was a good idea.
I maybe missed that detail way back, but here we are.
As with a lot of places out in deserty like places, you get the idea the town is very much built around a water source. Like that is a key part of the town's construction.
Logic wins again.
Although this part of southern Texas is a little bit more badlands than desert, but
Hey, it's important to have water.
especially
Done.
clean water. Oops.
Wow. So I would like to conceal my shovel in my duster, kind of like before we get in town. Is that a roll, or am I a good kind of just putting it there?
That's definitely going to be a roll. Go ahead and give me a
Oh, if Olivia was still around, I would have had her design one that like you could twist apart in the center and like just.
wits plus streetwise.
Streetwise.
Speaking of which, I'd like to put on my Mask of 1,000 Faces for going in town.
Smart.
All I gotta say is
Well, I have 2 successes on my wits streetwise.
all I gotta say is I'm not streetwise, I'm sheetwise.
So
I
it's
only
about
got 2 successes.
Okay, you're able to do it. Especially since it's your. I always make it a lower difficulty for Winasco for their go-to face rather than trying to look like someone new.
Liam is gonna do his.
Okay.
Mm,
Son of a bitch! No successes on 7 dice.
Nope, you still fugly.
You ugly, son.
UGLY. You ain't got no die.
You ain't got no color dye. You ugly.
Is anyone else spending blood for Blush of Health?
Nope.
It's the middle of the night. I think I'm pretty solid.
And I have the merit, so I'm good.
I am because always.
Yeah. Fair enough. Adele looks healthy.
Liam looks ugly.
Liam
You
looks
look
healthy, just
Picked.
ugly.
I hide my face. I don't hide my shovel.
Fair enough. Walter, you feel it's relatively hidden. I mean, it's a 4-foot shovel, so you're able to kind of keep it. It's a little bit makes the duster bulky in certain places and look a little awkward, but
Okay.
otherwise it's okay. So you guys walk into town. You don't see anyone because at this point we're going on till like 2:33 a.m. And the town's as it is closing up pretty early just because of all the illness and everything. You make it to the town well. Go ahead and give me a perception plus alertness check to see if you see anything.
I will do so.
Said perception alertness.
Yep.
That was the quietest chat I've ever heard.
My mic was away from my mouth.
Oh no.
Everybody,
I only got
Oh,
2.
that's a
Shitty.
good number.
Everybody.
Wait.
Liam,
Yeah,
Liam
that's a
got
good number.
nothing.
Okay.
I got 6.
Nice.
H
ask me to look at more things. I
Atris
like
got 4.
looking at them.
Got it.
Apologize to any Brits. I did not mean to do this. I meant to do this.
3 for Delaware. How you doing?
I got I think 2.
So the rest of you are looking around. You don't really see anything. Liam, you're guessing that no one's coming. You're guessing that it's okay.
You ain't guessing? I guess no one's coming.
But you guys kind of all square up, looking around, keeping eyes out. Some of you from previous experiences are now looking up at the rooftops to search for any of those disease-boiled and pustule rats. Noah, your
Atris,
eyes are especially darting up and down, looking around every corner, keeping your head kind of on a swivel. Okay,
Atris
so
is going to help secure the rope to drop it down, but after that, she's going to kind of go invisible and kind of like watch the perimeter area.
okay,
Yeah, I'll hold the rope.
okay. Who's going to be going down in the hole?
Liam.
Just Liam. Okay.
I'll
Just the
hold.
stunt devil.
I'll hold the other end of the rope, the top end.
Josephine looks around, sees that it's clear. Once again, you see her eyes flash for a brief second, and the head of the sledgehammer starts glowing, and she touches it to another one of the gems, and it starts glowing. She goes, "Well, good luck, hon," as she then flicks off the sledgehammer and turns it off.
Oh, I guess there's nowhere else to go but down. And Liam's gonna kind of crawl in there and just kind of like use the rope and like push himself off and jump down a little bit, little by little.
Liam, are you taking the dynamite with you, or did you give that over to Walter?
I gave that to Walter.
Okay.
Oh boy, Walter has a dynamite.
Ooh,
All right,
that's the Walter.
I'm holding the top end of the rope to like make sure of how it's doing. I'm not just holding it. I'm also like monitoring it for if it feels like something is going. But, yeah.
I would say between Wea and Walter holding the rope and Atris tying it off, this you feel is much more secure than the other rope you had used. Again, now that it's doubled up and not just a thin rope that was used to hold on to a water pail. Liam, go ahead and give me a Dex Athletics. Difficulty is 5. You get down without a problem. You feel like the rope that Atris braided is very secure and very taut. And even though your feet slip a little bit from the ice that's been building up on the side of the well, with everyone else holding everything, at this point you're just slowly like doing a reverse rope climb and just easing yourself down a little bit by little bit.
Once Liam gets about halfway down, he's just gonna kind of like just jump in because he knows he only got 10 minutes.
There is a splash and a crack as things seem to have re-iced over as you are suddenly up to your chest in ice cold water. And the crystal is giving off a decent glow where you can actually see around, and you look down and every so faintly you see every so often a swirl of darkness in the water that almost looks like a little bit of oil that got spilt into the waterway.
Okay, Liam is going to make sure that his nostrils are good and closed off.
Okay.
And he's going to kind of dive under the water.
You dive under the water, and given what Adele had told you from the past, you look at the sides of the well and you do see a about 4-foot diameter hole where the stones were broken in. You see the stones scattered at the bottom of the well, and you see what looks like a tunnel that's going in a direction.
Going.
Go ahead and make a Dex plus Athletics roll for me. Difficulty is 7.
You can do it.
I got a 9 and a 10. Let me re-roll one.
Don't we roll a 1?
7 on Chad's dice. So 3 successes.
Cool. You make it through okay. You are noticing that there's actually a lot more ice buildup down here. And it gets tight in certain places. I need you to make a dex plus a strength plus melee roll for me, please.
Okay, I'm going to spend 2 blood and pump up my strength. Damn the one. Okay, 3 successes.
There's a couple places where the water seems to have been mostly iced over, and you're punching it and you're punching it, and eventually it breaks as you're able to dig large chunks out of the way and slowly crawl your way through. Go ahead and make a soak roll for me, please, with fortitude.
Stamina and fortitude, or just fortitude?
Stamina, fortitude. Diff is actually going to be 8.
Three 8s and a 9, so 4.
There are certain places where you yourself, you're feeling it starting to get warm on certain places on your flesh, and you're okay, but you're starting to notice that parts of your clothing is starting to fray, and there's almost like moth holes starting to appear, as it seems like this ichor that as you crawl, you notice that it's getting, with the light of this crystal, it's getting thicker and thicker as you're crawling through this hole, and it's more caustic and more acidic, and it's starting to slowly start to eat away at your clothing, which unfortunately your clothing does not have fortitude, so it's not able to withstand that. And you're realizing that the more you go down this tunnel, the thicker this seepage of this black ichor seems to be, and you're starting to notice that sludge that was at the bottom that Wea and Atris talked about is getting thicker as you feel your shoes digging through it, and the leather is starting to burn away.
Can I just say I hate the word seepage?
Seepage is thicker than water. You heard it here first.
Thicker
Oozage.
ichor.
But how much time do I have?
It's been about 5 minutes, so you're about halfway there.
So I gotta make the judgment call if I turn back now or I go further.
Point
Yep.
of no return.
Do you want to come back in the dark? Are you afraid of the dark?
Not really.
Are we ready to leave Liam behind?
Liam, give me also a perception plus survival roll for me, please. Standard difficulty.
How's the rope feel? Does it feel pretty taut, or like, does it feel like it's grinding against stuff, or does it feel like it's doing pretty well?
I mean, the rope's just kind of hanging there. There was only enough of it to get it down to
to get it
where
down.
you can rappel
Okay.
down. So, I mean, but it feels secure there. What did you get, Liam?
Alright, never mind.
3. Liam, this is not a perfectly, like, structured hole. This isn't like a perfectly excavated tunnel, even like what you've seen with like mining and stuff like that. This very much, and it's not perfectly straight either. There are parts where it starts to slowly curve to the left or right, or go up or down. It's not perfectly just a straight shot that you've been going. What are you going to do? Are you going to move forward, or are you going to go back?
What do I have on me? Trying to figure out if I have something that I can like punch into the wall real quick.
Less and less by the second.
I know, right? No, yeah, I really. I'm just gonna go a little bit further. Actually, I know I'm gonna be cutting it close, but I'm gonna kind of cut it so that the light starts to fade as I'm coming back. But I'm gonna go a little bit deeper in.
You give it about another minute and a half or so, and you keep crawling forward. Again, the ice is thick, but you're punching your way through, you're getting through there. The breaking of the ice is what's taking up a lot of your time with this. Just because of the time of year that is and the cold and everything else. You come to a crossroads where the tunnel diverts to the left and right. Go ahead and give me a perception alertness roll.
3.
You notice that more of this black ichor is coming from the tunnel from the right. And you remember what Henry told you about the reach of this thing, unless this thing is almost a antediluvian level, or unless something else is helping it, the anchor has to be somewhere near town, and you're getting the idea that maybe this anchor that he was talking about might be towards the right.
You know how Liam is impatient?
I do know that.
Liam's going for it.
Okay. You push on, and as you go up, you notice that the tunnel is actually starting to head like up slightly. As you start to crawl your way through and push your way through, there seems to be a point where the water stops.
So I can put my head above it, or?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna push up above it.
You push your head up, and as you look around, still having the light, quickly, if you look at the crystal, actually give me a perception plus either alertness or awareness, either one.
I have one more in alertness. We're gonna do that. I got 1.
You think you look down, and besides the glow of this crystal that was imbued by the Josephine's hammer, you think you're seeing little veins of black being starting to spiderweb its way through, and you're wondering if it being in the water that has this
It's
corruption
absorbing
in it,
the corruption.
that it's starting to absorb a little bit of that. Give me a perception alertness roll for what you see when you breach the water.
On the outside of the hole, I'd like to drop a rock in. See how he's doing.
Just because I really want to get something out of this, I'm gonna spend 2 willpower.
Okay. And yeah, Noah, you drop the rock and bloop.
Oh, nice.
So it's been 10 minutes since he's jumped in.
Not quite. Yeah, I'd say you're pushing around 8 minutes at this time.
5 successes with the 2 willpower.
Okay. There seems to be, you're still underground. You actually start to see roots coming in from the top. And it seems like there's an air pocket that has reached where you've gotten above the groundwater level, but you're still underground. You see stone and earth and tree roots and things like that poking its way through. But that's not what you notice most. You notice thousands and thousands of dead rat corpses in different states of decomposition. Some of them just bone, some of them, and they're all sloshing and decomposing together to make this sludge that is running off into the water.
Ew.
And you get the idea that that's where, and you, as you look on the ceiling of this is another sigil of some kind, and it seems to have been drawn in some blackish ichor.
Okay, can I try and memorize what the sigil looks like?
Sure, give me a wits plus occult roll to just memorize it. And you're getting the idea that what the sigil definitely is almost like glowing with this blackish pale energy. And it's definitely affecting the rat pile that's there. As you sit there long enough, every so often, there is actually about 4 more tunnels that branch off once you get onto the surface that go in, like, I would say from 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and maybe 4 o'clock as far as from where you're standing, all about that 4-foot radius. As every so often you see one of these diseased rats crawl in, go into the center, and then you see the sigil flash a little bit and it dies and it adds to the pile, kind of thing.
So just so I can make sure I get this clear, I'm about a somewhat 10-minute swim with this current away from town that was banking towards the right as I was going in here, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I see tree roots above me along with the stone?
Yes.
Okay. I am going to, because I already have 2 pumped in my strength, I'm going to pump 2 into my dex, and I'm just going to start trying to beeline it back for the entrance to the well.
As you get ready to do that, you hear this scratching moving as in the light caught by the reflection of your crystal that's starting to, you notice it's starting to fade down. You see these eyes staring at you at each of the tunnels, and crawling out of it, the size of a dog. We're talking like a good sized dog, almost like a lab or something that size. You see this snout, fur coming off. I don't know if you guys have ever seen an animal that has like a ringworm or anything like that, and mange, where just the fur is missing and it's this dry, crusty, caked, bleeding skin with little patches of fur.
So Ted Cruz.
Oh boy.
You see these dog-sized rats crawling out of the hole with these pustules and boils and little bits of bone that are sticking out at weird angles coming through. I'm going to need you to roll for initiative.
I start to nudge Walter like,
your dex,
it looks
I'll
like
say
time for playing Boomstick.
Okay. Ooh, okay, so 8 with the 2 extra dex. Was it? It's wits and dex is what it was? So
Yeah.
that's 11 plus.
Well, it's your wits plus dex score plus a d10.
Yeah, that's right. So 11. So 16.
Okay.
I'm just making sure this is all a Liam thing, right? Like
You
he's down
guys
there,
have
this is
no
happening.
idea what is
Yeah.
going on, other than the fact that he's about 9.5 minutes in, and you know his light's about to fade, and he hasn't been back yet.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, but I add the celerity dice, so 17. Sorry.
Okay. That's 13 for the dire rats. So, okay, you go first. What do you do?
I'm like trying to beeline swim as fast as I can back to the entrance.
Okay. So you're going to use the dash movement?
Yes.
Okay. So I will say that again, it's not easy going just because it's not a run. You're basically crawl swimming through this thing.
Yeah, this is also, I pump 2 into my strength and I pump 2 into my dex.
So I will say that your speed is at a quarter speed of what it normally is.
So at a dash being double, so then I would have, so that would be.
What's your normal speed with the pumping and everything else?
Normal speed with the pumping right now is 8.
So a quarter of that would be 2. And so doubled is 4. So you're kind of essentially with the pumping, you're going at half speed, essentially.
Well, I'm going for it.
You start going, nope, as you crawl back. and the rats start to go. Yes, indeed, ROUSs. Okay. Yeah, you start to book it back, and you're crawling your way back. Let's see what they're gonna give chase as you feel the water displace, as you feel things jumping in the water after you.
Yay!
And I will say,
You somehow got muted.
that was their turn. Now I need you to go ahead, and for the next turn, I need you to make a willpower roll, please.
Current or general?
Current.
So that's 5.
Okay. You feel something start to almost emanate from behind you, and you can almost feel these like fingers reaching into your mind from behind, trying to reach out and make connection with you. And you've experienced, I'll say, with that many successes, you've experienced the elder's presence before, and it feels very much like that.
Yeah, I'm continuing to just push forward.
Okay. At the top of your next round, the crystal fades.
Okay. And I'm just kind of following to now what would be the
Yeah,
last.
so I'm going to say go ahead and make a wits plus survival roll to try and just feel your way through the right way and not bash into the side of this tunnel and things like that.
There's a 1.
It's close. You get scraped up a little bit. I will say you take 2 bashing, which you can probably soak.
Let's just do half of my dice first. Okay, within those half, I soaked the 2.
Yeah. So there's a couple times where judging the space is hard, and you reach out with your hand and kind of almost punch the wall a couple of times and drag your knees across the bottom. There's a couple of ice bits that when you had the light, you were able to kind of swim around and move around, but now they're kind of scraping. You definitely feel a bit of your clothes tearing a little bit.
But I'm not punching through ice anymore, so at least I've got a kind of clear path, right?
Yeah, you do have a clear path. It's just the little bits of shards that were still sticking up. And once again, you feel the acidity almost of the water eating away at some of the fabric of your clothing and the material. I assume you're just booking it again. Yep. Okay. Let's see how they do. And you said you got how many successes on the Dex plus survival?
Just 1. I thought that was with survival.
Oh yeah, wit survival. Sorry.
Yeah, just 1 on that one.
Okay. Well, you start to feel something like nipping at your feet. Like it's not close enough where it's making, but you get the idea that in the struggle that you're having, that you notice it's getting a little bit closer. I need you to make another willpower roll for me, please. This time it's going to be diff 7.
I only got 1 on that one.
You try and fight it off, and this time, between the struggle and the concern as these giant rats are chasing behind you, the acidity of the water, it breaks through that barrier that you put up. And again, it's like a psychic wave just smacking into the back of your...
Would magic resistance have helped me on this one?
Unfortunately not, no, because this is more of a discipline rather than a magical thing.
Gotcha.
And it's like a psychic wave smacks you in the back of the head and penetrates through to your skull as you hear. Now I forget, have you heard the Elder's voice before, or is this a first for you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so you do not recognize this voice. This is the first time you've heard this voice personally. Clever little worm, squirming away. I wonder if my children are hungry. Stay a while. You worked hard enough to get here. What shall we teach him, Mother? What shall we teach the little worm? Should we see how he wiggles? And you feel this crushing presence, the likes of which you have not felt before. This is... Give me a perception plus awareness roll, please.
Four.
You've experienced old before. I'll say your sire definitely took you to Europe and you got to meet some of the older Ventru that are still up and awake, including the Prince of London, who's been around since Rome was in its heyday. You've experienced old. This is more than that. There's definitely some age there. There's definitely some of the power. As someone who is obsessed with power, obtaining power, robbing power from those that aren't worthy of it, you know power and you know the different flavors of power. This has some age to it. It definitely does. But there's something more there. There's something in addition to the age that's weighing on the strength of this thing. Almost, and this is weird to say this for a supernatural creature, there's something abnormal even for your kind about it. It's almost like if you picked up something that you should know the weight of and it's heavier than it should be.
Maybe it's
There's
Maybelline. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's Maybelline. But it's one of those things of, you know, like, for example, how much a gun weighs when you pick it up. But it's almost like if that gun weighed twice as much as it should, where there's that extra oomph behind the power of this thing that shouldn't be there.
Well, either way, his ass is going to keep swimming. And hoping he's getting closer, he's going to burn celerity for at least an extra 2 movements. Or not 2 movements, but 2 squares.
Okay. Yeah, you're definitely going. Everybody else, it's definitely been past the 10-minute mark at this point. What are you all doing on the surface?
Can we take that
Preparing
dynamite
for
remark and
planned
say it
boomstick.
happens now?
What was that, Walter?
I was gonna ask Noah if that planned boomstick comment happens now, and then he said it. So
Preparing for. Now, there's 2 things we need to know. Miss Josephine, do you have any more of those shiny rocks so we can go get whatever items might be on Liam's body?
I don't need those. I'm gonna go in. I can see in the dark.
Okay. As Josephine starts to answer, Wea just do you go down the rope or do you jump in?
I hand the rope over to Walter. I take off my axes and I get in the well.
Without your axes?
Yes, no axes.
Okay, so you're not an axolotl, you're an axolotl.
I'll take the rope from Walter and tell him, make sure that man goes down there with the boomstick.
you know, I don't. We'll see. Well, you know, actually, I don't want to get this wet. Can you hold it?
Are you sure you want me to hold it? I'll grab hold of the rope and be ready to pull up whatever might be at the bottom of it.
Okay. So Wea, you jump in. Is anyone else jumping in the hole? Okay. So where
So-
you jump? So where
Yeah,
you jump in?
Walter is going. Yeah.
Okay, Walter. Before you go, Josephine quickly flares up her warhammer, touches it to one last crystal, and shoves it in your pocket, and then gives you a slap on the butt.
Walter goes whoo and hops down, like
Yeah.
just hops down the well.
Yeah.
So
Then
you
tries to
guys
grab the
both
rope
jump down,
fish on the way down.
splash! The water and ice shards go everywhere as the two of you go. Where? Go ahead and give me a Dex Athletics real quick.
Three.
You luckily hear the woo, 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 as you see this cowboy come barreling down, spurs first, coming towards you, kind of thing, as you're able to push up against the wall as best you can so he lands in the water and not on top of your shoulders.
Can I roll to just kind of catch myself before I would have
Sure.
hit Wea?
Dex Athletics.
Oh yeah.
Because the well's only about 4 foot diameter. It's not like
Yeah, the well's
if I-
not very wide.
If I fail this roll, will I take any damage? Probably.
We'll see.
Well, it matters for my Daredevil merit.
Sure, I'll
Um,
say count the Daredevil merit.
How wonderful. What a time to be a Daredevil. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, perfect. Okay. You said Dex Athletics? question
Correct.
mark?
I love that we didn't have to send Atris on a quest. We just made her invisible.
Hey. She's being herself.
She's killing some rats somewhere, being like, "This is for my boots, you son of a bitch!" You know, just like.
Well, Atris knows that I can cover any invisibility we need over here.
Well, she's just keeping an eye on the perimeter, make sure no one comes by.
I got 12 successes on that roll.
Where there's been one or two times that Liam and Adele have convinced the group to see a play at a couple of the more built-up towns that had a stage, more than just the little ones that the local but almost like on wires does this, almost backlit by the light up above in the moonlight, as Walter does almost gracefully fall down in this perfect motion and lands by your side.
It's almost as if he floated with gravity.
Yes.
I hope to one day get that many successes on another roll that's combat oriented, but I'll take this one.
No, I love the one where you got like a huge amount of successes on hitting and then you got 0 on damage.
That was a beautiful time.
I'm gonna make eye contact with Walter. I'm gonna look him in the eyes and I'm gonna say, "Well, you still can't be an owl." And then I'm gonna duck my head into the water and go after.
You also see the hole that Adele mentioned, and besides your eyesight, by the way, you do notice that Walter does have in one of his pockets. You see some glowing happening, and you get that Josephine was able to slip one in his pocket before he left.
Yeah, I am taking that for sure.
Okay, and you guys start going into the Liam.
Does Liam see a faint glow now?
Yes, there's a light up ahead.
Oh, thank God. They probably dropped a crystal down the hole so I could find my way back. That's probably what happened.
Oh yeah, that's probably what happened.
Go ahead and I assume you're just still hauling ass trying to get out of there.
Yep.
Okay, make your roll for this time. It's going to be, you've gotten past where the junction is, so you don't need your wits. This is just going to be Dex Athletics, difficulty 7 to do this in complete dark. Like for you, other than that light that's up ahead, that's kind of glowing faintly up ahead, you're in pitch blackness because you have no night vision or anything like that.
It's at least like a beacon. Like it helps.
Yeah.
Thank God I put my dex.
Mm.
5.
Yeah, you're able to make it through without much until suddenly you Wea, you see a Liam coming crawling and scrambling towards you guys, and he's getting ready to barrel right into you as he's crawling blindly. It's now their turn.
Oh, should we roll initiative?
Yes, you guys should actually roll initiative, but on the next round because we're
Yeah.
not going to do this in the middle of the.
Yeah.
Oh, where's my gem dice?
That's the only one to roll for initiative.
Yeah,
Really? Okay,
it really
so
is.
on 8 dice, no successes for the big old rats. So Liam, you feel one trying to bite at your shoe, and you kind of give it a kick, and you feel it kind of flinch back, and it's a solid thing though, and they're definitely right on your heels. Go ahead and make another willpower roll for me, please. And no, you can't spend willpower for the willpower roll.
Oh yeah, that I know. That's why I boosted it up so much. This was diff 7, right?
Correct.
So 2.
It's not coming through as clear, but every so often you get snippets of the yes, I will teach him, mother. He will learn. They will all learn.
If I ask this, I feel like I'm shooting myself in the foot, honestly, but I kind of have to know. Does the fact that I now have Nos blood in me do anything?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
I need you to make a self-control roll for me, please. Difficulty is 7 currently.
Like I gotta ask.
That's fair. Thank you for reminding me.
I like how you said difficulty 7.
Oh,
Currently.
I got 1 9. Everything else was a 2 or a 3.
Okay. You feel a strong compulsion to do what the voice says and stop moving. But you're able to, your Ventru blood, which is still, you're thinking with your Ventru brain, not your Nos brain right now. Is like, oh, hell no, and self-preservation kind of kicks in. However, you do also hear, why not give him a chance? You took me along for the ride. Let's see where this plays, pretty boy.
I can't talk, so.
You get the sense, but you can think.
It's like, you should have thought that. What is it? You should have gone before we left. I'm not turning this body around right now. But Liam's just gonna go. He's like, look, I had my fun for a reason. We're not playing your games quite yet. You're gonna have plenty of opportunities later.
And Liam, you're able to push through, but this does bring up a new wrinkle of when you guys eventually face off against the Nos Elder. You now realize that you're going to be a little bit more susceptible to its influence than you were before you had Nos blood.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. Walter, you rolled for initiative, so that's good. Wea, go ahead and roll for initiative. Liam, what was your initiative before? It was
17 with the dice roll of 8.
Oh, mine's a 4.
Okay.
14 total.
Okay. So it's going to go Liam, Walter, Wea, Rats, Elder influence. So top of the round then is Liam. You smack into something relatively solid and hard that you weren't expecting there.
Did it buy me dinner?
Not yet.
It's where?
Whatever it is, you feel like it should have been an owl. Give me a perception plus investigation real quick. It feels vaguely person-shaped, and given the size of it, and then suddenly, as there's kind of like this backlight glow, you see backlit the silhouette of Wea, and then you see Walter right behind them as they are now bottlenecking your exit, allowing for these things to get closer. What do you do?
I'm just gonna point and just like keep trying to go.
Unfortunately, right now, the tunnel is not wide enough. You can't get past them because they are currently in the way of you getting past them.
Oh, okay. Then, is it enough where I can kind of like scooch up and kind of hug the wall a bit, so that
Sure.
I can kind of like give Walter's light like the ability to shine through the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, that's possible.
I'm just gonna point that way.
Okay. I'm not gonna make you roll. Well, actually, yeah, because Wea, you see this. Walter, give me a perception alertness roll, difficulty 7, just because of the glow. But Wea, you have dark vision, so I'll say you definitely see this.
Diff 7? Okay.
It looks like a shit ton of rats, right?
They're dog-sized rats.
Oh, well.
4 of them. Sorry.
Okay. 3 successes, 2 ones, but 1 reroll. I have 1 success.
That's all you needed. You see, as I described before, these Labrador-sized, mange and pus-boiled, a lot of the fur falling off of them, rats with these it almost looks like they have humps of these boils upon boils, and as they're swimming through. By the way, Wea and Walter, you also start. I need you to make a soak roll for me, please.
Oh boy.
What am I soaking? Temper
Damage from being in this contaminated water.
It's bashing, correct?
No, it is lethal.
Okay.
It's okay. I rolled very well. 4 soak.
Okay.
I am on a roll, rolling a lot of 1s tonight, but 1 sec. Oh, come on. 2.
Okay. Walter, you take 1 lethal. Wea, you feel the burning sensation, but are able to kind of, it's not getting through to your skin, but both of you are noticing that your clothes are starting to get a little bit tattered. As you look where Liam's pointing, and these rats are coming in, as they are actually coming, one's going to try to attack Wea because he's right there. The other one's going to try to attack Liam. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of room for dodging right now. Ooh, okay, so that's 1, 2.
Quick, parry, riposte.
Thrust, parry, thrust, climax. Oh wait, sorry.
Out of curiosity, how long have they been underwater?
About 12
Not
minutes
Liam,
now.
but the other 2.
Oh, not long. We're talking like half a minute at most.
Okay. No worries. But do those rats breathe, or are they like cooled?
You don't know. So that's 4 lethal to Liam.
Oh, I got soak.
Damn, son.
And let's see, the other one's going to try and take a bite at.
Liam is fine.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. And that's 4 lethal to Wea. As one of them goes and bites onto your shoulder, Wea, as the other one, Liam, you put up your arm and it sinks its sharp teeth, and you look and its teeth, it has 2 really sharp teeth on the top and bottom, and then almost like shark rows where some of the teeth are actually growing out from the gums in different angles. And it's rows of teeth. It's not just regular rodent teeth, as it bites into your forearm but can't seem to penetrate your thick vampire hide.
I rolled 5 to soak, and with this creature being next to me, can I discern if it actually looks like, if I think it's an animal or something that's like more crafted or like created? Like, can I identify this and be like, hey, this is like Animal Kingdom type thing, or is this like something entirely different?
Well, I'll say it's a dog-sized rat, so it's definitely
Okay.
it's definitely
it
not in the
definitely-
normal wheelhouse of National Geographic.
Animal,
Okay.
vegetable, or rock?
I will say this way, just for your edification, give me an int plus a cult roll, but it's going to be difficulty 8 because this is not something pertaining to your clan.
No, I botched it. I don't know anything.
You're too busy going, what the actual fuck?
Yeah.
And oh yeah, my clothes are melting off.
Ah!
Did the rats get to go before me?
They did, actually. Well,
I think so, technically. So, Walter, go ahead.
When I was rolling just the alertness thing at the end of Liam's turn, you said that I see them. So I see the rats. I see Liam, hopefully. And I mean, I guess what I see Liam doing then, if I can see that much, is trying to go this way, right? And stuff starts hurting. So I'm going to reverse. I'm going to beep a lot and try to get out.
Okay, make a Dex Athletics to get the hell out of Dodge.
Right. I'm rolling it. 2, 3, 10s.
See me rolling, they biting,
6.
and you know this water in this well is dirty.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you're able to go nope as you shove yourself back and like get clear of the path.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Wea, it is, I believe, your turn.
Sorry, I didn't want to blow my nose on camera. Let's see. I will reverse as quickly as possible.
Okay.
If it looks like I need to go further to catch up to Walter, like I don't know. No, I'll just regularly move. I won't use celerity, I don't think.
All right, Dex Athletics.
Two.
Easy enough. You're able to kind of push your way back and kick your way back as these things are as they're kind of coming after you.
And I want to try one other thing.
Hmm.
Can I use Feral Whispers and try to command one of them?
Go ahead. You can certainly give that a shot.
I would like to try.
Okay.
So it's going to be manipulation. Animal can. And I'm going to spend 2 willpower on this.
Okay.
I want to make sure this happens. 7 total.
Now this is just to connect with them, correct?
This is.
Or is this the command?
To command. Yeah, it's a command roll.
I need you to make a willpower roll for me, difficulty 8.
Difficulty 8. One.
Like a wave of psychic energy, you open up your mind to connect to these things. And you tried this once before when you tried to command rats to fight the other rats. Those were just rats that were under this thing's spell. These things with this disease and everything, and whatever these things are that have been created, that are these abnormally sized abominations, you feel the elder's presence stronger than before, almost being carried by these things. If you want to play with my toys, you're going to have to try a little harder than that. But I don't mind playing with you, child.
Oh.
Shall we see what Mother has to teach you? You actually end up taking, from the connection, you actually take 2 lethal psychic damage. That is non-soakable because it is your brain. But you can heal from it by spending blood.
I will heal it. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
So you very much get that these things especially are so controlled by the elder that there's just no way you're going to try and get them to do something that you want to do rather than what he wants.
That's what I wanted to find out, and that'll be my turn.
Okay. The rats got to take their turn. I now need Wea, Liam, and Walter to all make current willpower rolls, difficulty 7.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Nice. 3.
You said current willpower?
Yep.
Oh, goody.
How many was that, Liam?
Oh, we're getting the gem die for the reroll here. The gem die just rolled a 1. I haven't had to put that one in the jail for a while, but unfortunately.
Are you sure you're reading it right? It's not a 7?
Oh, now that you mention it, I got 0 successes.
Okay. Real quick, Liam, make a self-control roll for me, difficulty 7, please.
One again.
It's enough where you're barely holding on, but you keep on feeling compelled as you hear the voice go, "Stay. Play with me. I haven't had anyone to play with in such a long time." Walter, you hear as now, remind me, have you ever heard the elder's voice before?
Not once.
Well, that's about to change tonight, as suddenly, with no successes, this wave of psychic energy smacks into your brain, penetrating your skull.
Penetrate.
There's a lot of room in there
Penetrate.
for activities.
It's like elevator music of The Stars at Night Are Big and Bright, deep in the heart of Texas, just playing over and over again. Or the Bonanza theme, just playing. But you hear, "You're someone knew. But you were by the mines. What do you want to learn? And then there's a moment. Have you spoken to Mother before, too? Yes. What did she teach you? Tell me. Tell me. Share with me what Mother told you. Was I a good boy? And you take 2 lethal psychic damage. That is non-soakable, but you can spend blood to heal it.
Oh man.
I
hope that does not mean what I think it means.
I sure don't like Mother. Yeah, no, I like being healed. I'll spend 2 blood to avoid getting a dice penalty right now.
Okay. Top of the round, it is Liam first.
The rat's still trying to bite through my arm, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it wasn't able to penetrate my skin, and I've got my strength pumped up. I'm going to try and grab its jaws and rip it open.
Okay. That is going to be I will say first what you would have to do is do a grapple roll to get a hold.
Well, it's holding on to me.
Right, but it's biting your arm. What you're trying to do is grab its jaws and then rip.
It's a hold, so strength for all, and strength is currently pumped.
Versus its dex athletics. Boy.
Can it beat 6?
It cannot. You grab hold of it as you are like crocodile wrestling this thing, and it has as you notice its tongue is darting out, and its tongue is long, almost about 2 feet, and it has little spikes and barbs on it as it ends in this almost finger-like 3 digits that are kind of like reaching and grabbing. Have you pumped any? You don't have any celerity pumped right now, or do you even have celerity?
I have celerity, and my dex is pumped.
Okay, but
My strength is pumped.
But did you spend? You didn't spend celerity for an extra turn this round, correct?
No, because I would be sacrificing my movement, or
no, that's just you. Well, I mean, that'd be dex that you couldn't then put into other dex rolls with the celerity because you're spending it to do an extra turn. All right, so I'll say you have it grappled, and at the top of your next turn, you can go ahead and try and rip.
Okay, but so then I still have movement.
Yes.
So I'm gonna keep pedaling as much as I can.
While holding, so you're dragging this thing with you.
It's water, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Then next up is Walter.
I'm gonna keep. Wow. Nope, no questions. I'm gonna keep going. I'm just gonna.
I'll say
swim
you
faster,
make it
harder.
to the main part of the well. You come out the hole and you make it into the main part of the well.
Whip around and prepare to yank people out.
All right. So you just hold. I'd say that was your movement to get into the main part of the well. Are you holding your action until you see other people to kind of yank them?
Sure am.
Okay. Wea, it is your turn.
I am going to. Is Liam in can I grab Liam by the back of his shirt?
Yeah, he's within arm's length as he's currently holding on to this struggling rat by the jaws.
Do the hair, not the shirt.
Oh my god.
No, it's because the clothing is tearing apart right now.
That's right.
It's a damn shame you can't hear Liam right now.
That is
careful
true.
with meta knowledge, guys.
Yep.
Damn it.
Yep.
Would would he consider this since his clothing is also starting to tather?
I will tell you this, Wea, since
I'm gonna grab his shirt.
okay.
I'm not.
I
Gonna
was
take
gonna
this
say I would
anymore.
let you make
If
a
you're gonna
wits.
let me make a roll, that's fine. But I'm pretty.
I will let you make a
set.
wits roll right now.
No, I'm grabbing his shirt.
Okay.
No, like that's what I said. I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. I commend your
Non-meta-ness.
Yep. If it's dumb, it's fine. And then I'm gonna grab him, use celerity, and then move as fast as I can to Walter.
Okay. Liam, I assume you're not resisting or trying to get away from him grabbing. Okay. So I'm not going to make you roll for the grab, but go ahead and do a Dex Athletics and I'm going to say your movement speed is
Yeah, it's pretty poor.
It's pretty poor because not only are you at half with this confined space, but now it's also you're dragging Liam and a rat.
That's why I use celerity to hopefully offset that with an extra movement. Oh shit. Okay. That was really bad at first, but then I saw the tens and I got excited. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 successes.
I will say with that, you can get right to the edge of where the main, like, you're still in the tunnel part, but you're almost right there with, and I'll say that triggers Walter of you see the back of Wea sitting there for your held action.
Woo!
Assembly line.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to, hook his arms and like get him out.
Straight strength pull.
All right. Perfect number of dice just sitting here, actually. That is so many ones. Holy shit. All right, well, that's a single botch.
Nice.
You try to reach in and you end up at one botch. Okay, Wea, go ahead and try and soak 2 bashing.
Excuse me? Okay.
Oh
I
my
will
god.
do so.
Accidentally punched Way in the face.
Yeah. Dislocates my shoulder by accident.
My dice jail's real full right now.
Dude, oh my god. This is like sweet and spicy right now for me. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I forgive my dice.
3 successes.
Okay,
I see all the
soak it
ones.
as much like a dog that tries to walk through a door with a big stick and it keeps on hitting. He doesn't quite angle how to pull you through just right as he grabs you and smacks you against the hole as it hits the back of your head and your limbs as you don't quite fit in the door. You being this big hulking person, you don't quite fit through the hole at that angle. It's like getting the square Wea through the round hole.
See, and then this is the moment in the episode where I say I should have been an owl.
Right.
This is
catchphrase.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was you guys. It is now the rat's turn. It's going to be a contested strength roll to try and get out of Liam's grasp.
It's got interesting.
3. You're muted.
It is still held. You still have it.
Right.
But the other one that can reach, luckily the other two, the tunnel's too narrow, so they can't all be attacking at once. But the other one's gonna go for Wea again. And then I need one more dice. Okay, so that's going to be try and soak 5 lethal.
Nice. Good rolls. Oh, man. Wow. Okay. Well, I can't botch soak rolls, so I'm going to take that. You said it was 5 lethal?
Yeah, this thing goes as you feel its teeth close in on your neck as this thing goes for the jugular, taking advantage of the fact that you kind of got jarred as you hit the hole as you were getting pulled through by Walter, and the thing just latches on as you feel its jaws clamp down on either side of your neck and crunch down as you feel multiple rows of teeth, much more than any rodent should have, but especially its bottom, and kind of like a hamster where it has those teeth at the top at the bottom, pierce through. And thank God you're not a living creature, but you feel like either side almost hits your vertebrae of your neck on either side and is scraping bone. Now, if you haven't spent any blood this turn, you can spend up to your max blood per turn to heal.
Oh, that's right. I am going to do that. I'm going to heal 3. So I still have 2 lethal, you said?
Yeah, so you still have 2 lethal, so keep in mind of any dice penalties or anything else. But you at least you will your vitae to the wounds and kind of help close them up a little bit. Okay, so that's the rat's turn. Everyone in the well, go ahead and make another willpower roll, diff 7.
Oh boy.
Oh, nice. 4 successes.
You're good.
Ooh, 3 this time.
You're good.
I'm gonna switch up some dice.
I have to start pulling dice back out of the jail to have dice again. Oh. Ooh. Still getting a lot of 10s.
Roll.
See if they can stay out on good behavior.
Yeah.
I got a lot of success. I got like 6. Yeah, I got 6.
You guys don't know if it's just that you're getting further away from wherever this tunnel was leading, but you notice it's a little bit easier to ignore the psychic reaching of the elder, and you're able to block him out of your minds and not take.
Can I let him in? Can I let him in?
You can choose to.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I feel his pressure or whatever, right?
Mhm.
So in reaction to that, I'm gonna attempt to let his voice squeak in if he wants to say something.
Okay. Are you gonna try and say anything to it, or are you just listening?
I'm just listening right now. Yeah, just listening right now.
Soon this world will be mother's once more. Her children are gathering. I've been such a good boy. I hope I get to meet my brothers and sisters. I've been so lonely. Come play with me, and I'm sure Mother will teach you a lesson or 2 as well. Come play in her garden. You take another 2 lethal damage from the psychic backsplash of this.
Okay.
Again, you can spend
heal
blood
it.
I need everyone to go ahead and make a soak roll for me, please. Difficulty 7 for still being in the water.
Oh, golly gosh. Even in just the normal well proper, huh?
Because remember, there was still stuff that's where Atris's boots melted off in the well proper. They didn't even go in the hole. It's the muck that settled down at the sediment and stuff that is settled down at the bottom and oozed down there.
That sounds lovely.
Got 4.
Okay.
I soak it.
Okay. Liam?
Am I hearing any splashes?
We're about to get to that.
Ooh.
Liam, how'd you do? Okay. Yeah, you all, your clothes are deteriorating even more, especially Liam's, just because of being down here for longer. But you're definitely noticing that you can feel the water touching your skin a little bit more as you're looking down. You're seeing the holes starting to get bigger and your clothes starting to get a little bit more threadbare. For everyone at the top of the well, so Adele and Noah, Atris is still making a perimeter, so she's not right there, and Josephine's standing there too. You hear some splashing going on in the water down below.
Well, 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 that's not a bad sign. Let's see what they bring up.
Do they need help coming up?
Well, I got a hold of this rope here if they need to climb out fast.
It was just like, you've got a rope. What do you want from me? I'll say this, since Adele, you mentioned a little bit more concerned, as Noah seems to be the optimist of the group. Go ahead and are you going to look down into the well? I'll say perception, alertness, difficulty is 7, just because it is extremely dark down there, but Walter does have the glow gem.
I'll peek my head in too, just so I know whether or not they're gonna grab the rope.
Okay, perception, alertness, diff 7.
I got 4.
All right. You're both able to see down there. It's, again, hard to make out. Everything is dark and silhouetted. You're mainly seeing the glow of the crystal on Walter's person moving around. But that amount of splashing, you definitely ascertain. This is not like a mission going smoothly. This is very
Obsidian
frantic.
Spurs mission.
Yeah, this is par for the course for the Spurs. This is a frantic movement down there.
I have a concern. I don't think things are great down there.
Ma'am, I suggest you get a match and hold it at arm's length because we are gonna need it for this boomstick soon. Possibly, our blacksmith friend here can help us with the fire bits.
Preferably after our friends are out of the well.
Well, be ready. I don't think there's much else we can do up here. Wait and fish.
Josephine is just going, what did I sign up for?
You knew what this was.
All right, so top of the round, Liam.
Okay, so we're kind of in the main basin, right? Like already.
Walter is in the main basin.
Well, Wea got there, and Wea was pulling me.
But Wea is blocking the hole because he currently got smashed up against the hole a couple of times by the botch from Walter. So he's right on the edge. You would just have to like push him through or something like that.
Okay, well, I'm going to burn a celerity.
Okay.
I'm going to rip open this rat's jaws since I am holding it.
Okay. Go ahead and do a Dex plus Brawl.
So not strength for prying it open in half?
Strength is going to be damage. You're doing Dex plus
Okay.
Brawl for the attack.
And since I'm grappling, is there lower difficulty?
I'll say it's only difficulty 5.
That helps. 2, 3. So 4.
Do your strength modifier plus 3.
So my strength is currently at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dice.
Do you have any potence?
I do!
Don't forget to add that for more dice.
I have 1 in potence. That's 10 dice.
Oh boy.
10, 8, 6, 7, 7, 9, 8. Gotta re-roll the 10. 7, so 8 damage.
Okay. Using your strength that you got from one of the Nos, you rip as there's this sickening. You notice that the skin at the corners of the jaws starts to tear and rip as the thing's tongue's like, and there's the flashing, and it's trying to push, and its claws are going to try and it's just shredding your sleeves. But as you feel it almost like in the water, like almost like a ripple, as there's this crack, and the thing goes limp as its jaws, as its tongue is kind of lolling out. However, what you notice in that moment is this black, oily blood coming out of this thing. I need you to make a soak roll immediately. Only this time it's diff 8 because of the concentration of this thing. You soak it. You definitely feel the heat from it. The front of your clothes are just wrecked. It just is burning through it as if you took a lit cigarette to a piece of paper. It's just as it's you get the idea that the very blood of these infected rats, and especially these big ones, is so inundated with the elder's influence and maybe even his own vitae that it's caustic, and if it splashes on you, it's going to be something of an issue. But you're able to, your strong resolve is able to go. So that was your first turn. What are you gonna do for your second turn?
I'm still gonna hold on to that thing. Like, just gonna kind of hold on to like the nape or something. I'm gonna try and like get into the well area because I want to grab the rope.
Okay. Go ahead and make. I assume where it's not resisting, but just give me a strength check, please. Don't forget your potence.
Oh, I gotta remember potence. 4.
Between Walter pulling you, Wea and Liam pushing you, you have a Winnie the Pooh moment and get pushed out of the hole as you come out the other side, and you're able to push past, and you're in the main well area, and you still have your movement because you took your 2 actions and you have your movement.
I'm gonna grab the rope and like pull myself up as much as I can get, so I can kind of get some clearance, and I'm gonna yell up like, "We need it out!"
Okay, you yell that. Wea, it is your turn. Oh, sorry, not Wea.
I think it's
Walter.
me.
Walter is your turn.
Okay. Am I? Can I speak in my head to the elder? I kind of didn't really like seize that the second time, but
Give it a shot. Are you opening up your mind again to it?
I mean, shoot, it's a new round.
It is a new round, so you would have to open your mind to it again.
Yeah, Walter is going to do that. He's going to think real hard. Ain't you a little old to be worried about your mother? About being a good boy for your mother?
She is the mother of us all, no matter how old you get. Children remember their mothers. She certainly remembers you.
Oh boy. I assume this hurts.
2 more lethal that you can choose to heal.
I just take it. I'm gonna try to. I mean, are these 2 out? Do both of them get out?
Yes, you now see there's a shove. Wea floats back into the main area, and Liam gets up, grabs the rope, and shouts out, "We need help," as he's dragging one of these now dead mutated giant rats by the scruff of its fur as you see this black ichor pouring from it into the water.
I want to test the rope, like grab, pull, make sure it's still solid,
Seems it.
and then climb up real fast.
Dex Athletics difficulty is 7 because of how slick. It's easier coming down than up, so it's one of those things of the slickness of the sides of the walls that have iced over.
The
Got
second I
it.
start feeling them tug, I start pulling on my side and screaming, "Coming up!"
We'll get to that at the top of the round.
Oh boy. All right. There's some dice. Oh, do you have 7?
Yes.
I have 4 successes.
You start climbing up using your spurs to dig in a little bit as you go up. You're starting to climb the rope. Liam's still holding on. Whale, what are you doing?
I'm gonna spend 2 blood for celerity and use those 2 and my action to turn into an owl.
Very quickly, as you shrink down into little ball of fluff.
And I will fly my ass out of here.
Second verse, same as the first. You start heading up the thing. The remaining 3 rats come pouring, scrambling out of the tunnel as they start nipping. Liam, there is enough room to dodge here. Would you like to attempt to dodge?
Yes.
Same thing for you, Walter, because they're going to take a bite at both of you guys.
Oh, am I not like up?
I mean, one's going to jump up out of the water and try and like scramble up and bite you.
How fun.
Dodging a billion years.
Alligator rat dogs.
Yeah, I'll do a barrel twist up here. That's the same dice I just rolled, actually. How handy. Well, this one.
Liam, you succeed. It goes to snap at you, and you kind of just side it a bit, and it misses.
6.
Same thing. It jumps up and tries to snap and claw at you, and you move. Okay. Top of the round. Noah, Adele. You looking down, you're seeing these. What the fuck are those? As you're seeing these giant mutated dog-sized rats that look a lot like the sickly rats that you guys have been seeing around town, only about 12 times the size. What do you do? What do you do? And you hear Liam shout out that they need help.
I just shout down, "Grab the rope, coming up!"
Okay.
As I start to pull with full strength.
So what I'm going to allow then is, Adele, do you grab onto the rope?
Yes.
Okay. I need Adele and Noah to make a strength check for me. Josephine's going to help with this too.
I want to pump 3 blood.
Okay. Yeah. You pump three blood as you feel the vitae swelling into your veins, your muscles tightening. And then I need Walter, Wea, and not Wea because he's an owl. Walter and Liam to make a Dex plus athletics to try and crawl out of this thing.
All right. Doing it now. The dice all got scared. Now they're all rolling
okay.
2s.
Yeah, I basically got evened out. So I had a bunch of 1s and a bunch of 6s. So I got 1 overall.
1.
I'm also gonna pump 2 blood for this.
Okay. 3.
I got 7.
7. Okay.
I got 9.
Cool. And Josephine got 3 as well. So you guys, it's half climbing and half just holding on as you get, there's a sudden jerk as you guys get hauled out of there, as you hear these things splashing and sputtering around, and you guys come flying out to the top of this over the well.
Wee. Just imagining me like flying, being hurtled out of the well into the sky.
Not quite that strong, but close. You guys definitely clear the edge and land on the ground outside of the well. Liam's still carrying this thing. Okay, you hear these things sputtering and moving around as they're trying to climb up the wall. What do you guys?
Yeah, I want to whip around and look at them and see how close they're getting.
Let's see.
Like if they're actually being able to get purchase and climb up this thing.
Noah, hold on to that dynamite. I have something fun for you to blow up.
One actually does dig its claws into the side as it's starting to slowly make its way up the side.
I guess I'm holding my light over it, obviously.
Yeah, 2 of them, one of them looks like it went and slipped, but 2 of them are starting to climb up the side and starting to make purchase up.
I look over at Liam. Not here? Not now?
No, these we can shoot. Something really close that needs to get blown up.
All right, so what I'm gonna say is, let's see if we can push it, because it's 10:57 right now.
I'm willing to push it a little bit. I don't know about anyone else.
Just a little bit.
That's all right for me.
Just a smidge. Okay. At this point, I'm going to have Noah and Adele go ahead and roll for your initiative.
Remind me again, what is the rolls for initiative?
Roll 1 die and take the number that die comes out as, and then you add your dex and your wits to that.
Okay. I just found the page that said that. Never mind.
Sean
Second you
is
said
muted.
it.
Sean is still muted.
Sorry about that.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I just didn't. You looked like you were speaking. I didn't know if it was to us. My bad.
Noah, how'd you do?
The same.
Perfect. Okay, so that means top of the round is still going to be Liam.
Okay. I'm gonna grab my gun from the floor because I left my satchel on the side of the well, and I'm just gonna point down and shoot at one of the upcoming rats.
Okay, go ahead and make a Dex plus firearms.
Oh, and my Dex is pumped right now. One, two, three, 4, 5. So 3 to hit.
Go ahead and roll damage plus 2 dice.
And 5 damage.
Yeah, you hit one. It's not quite a headshot, but you definitely get it in the shoulder as you hit it as it falls off the side that it was climbing up, and this splatter of this black ichor, it hits the side of the wall, and you hear
There's 2 more.
I mean, technically it's not dead, it's just hurt. Okay, so that was you. Next up is Walter.
He got the only one that was climbing up the side? Question mark.
There was two climbing up the side, so he got one of the two.
Oh, there's about to be none. Walter pulls his pistol and fires at it.
Dex plus firearms.
With his quick draw, such. I wasn't planning on needing this many dice that weren't in jail. Here they are. Let's go. Okay, good. Maybe. Still good. Gooder. Even gooder. Oh, that's not good. Okay, well. 6 to hit, and then I assume that's gonna hit it.
Yeah, so that's going to be damage plus 5 dice.
Yeah. I like using real dice, but I gotta say at this amount it gets nice to have something digital. At times, there we go. 11 dice damage roll. And out of that, we are gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage as well.
Yeah, you hit that other thing as it falls down, and again, blood splatter on the wall. And it looks hurt.
I forgot to use my quick draw specialty. That would have given me 3 more dice for damage, because 3 of those were 10s on the attack.
Well, now you know for next time. All right, Noah, you're up.
Well, I don't have any fancy firearms, so I'll just prepare myself on the other side of the well to spear them if they get too close.
Okay, so you're holding your action if one gets up near the top. Okay. Adele, you're up next.
Is there one close for me to stab?
Thankfully for the rest of you, no. They're trying to climb up this 30-foot well, and they only got about like 10 feet up before the two that were gripped onto the wall or both got shot and fell back down to the bottom.
Don't you have your teeny tiny pistol?
Well, yes, I do. I could try that.
You certainly can.
Sure.
Dex plus firearms.
Can Walter say about 6 words to Liam, who just disappeared?
Here, I'm just off camera.
Sure you can. And Adele, which one are you going to be shooting at? There's 2 injured ones and one that hasn't been injured yet.
The one that's not injured.
Okay.
Walter's just gonna look up. Go, there's something you want to blow up?
Oh, yes, indeed. A little bit down the ways, there's an opening in the tunnel and a very big sigil with a bunch of dead rats that are bleeding black bile down into this area. We should be able to walk there pretty quickly. Might need to.
It's going to be because you're shooting down into the black hole and trying to aim. Unfortunately, it's going to be difficulty 7 to try and see.
In response to Liam, is that the thing you crawled out with a rat that's laying there on the ground?
I just kind of hold it up. So
I'll say it's heavy. You're basically you pumped your strength, right?
I did. So I'm at 6 right now.
Okay. You can do it, but you're basically trying to lift up about 100-pound rat.
I got 6.
Okay. Yeah, you take a shot in the dark, and as you hear something squeak and splash and sputter down there, and it sounds like you got it pretty good.
That's my next album name.
Josephine is going to do her turn next. Let's see. She's gonna hold her action too. She's kind of squaring up with Noah on the other side, and she's getting ready to play Whack-A-Rat in case one of them gets up to the top. It is now the rats' turn. They have some pretty heavy dice penalties at this point. Let's see if. Nope, that one doesn't climb up the side. Nope. One of them, let's see if it's smart enough to do this. Yep. Okay. One of them's going to start making it back for the hole and retreating. Okay, so top of the round is Liam.
I'm basically just gonna look at Walter's like, well, are you ready to finish these two off? And just point my barrel down, and I'm just gonna wait for Walter so we can both fire at the same time at the two that are remaining in there.
I'll nod at him, and then in time with him, aim down.
All right. Both of you do Dex plus firearms, diff 7, because you're shooting into a dark hole. Luckily, it's not very wide, and you're just hoping to hit rats.
Like shooting rats in a barrel.
Big rats. Big rats in a little barrel. 4 successes.
Diff 7, right?
Correct.
Then 4, yeah.
Five.
Okay. Liam, it's going to be your damage plus 3. Walter, damage plus 4.
Yeah. Yeah. We're doing damage. Just some mostly dead rats. We're rolling ones.
Yeah, that's also my problem right now. So I got 2 damage after the ones.
3 damage.
All right. So then.
I know I
So
did 5 damage to one of them.
So how much damage, Liam?
I did 2 damage.
You did 2. How much damage? 3. Okay. And Adele reminded me that she rolled for successes to hit, not for damage. So we're saying how damaged the other rat, the third rat is. So one moment.
I don't remember.
It's on your character sheet under your weapon, under your inventory.
After all the shots fire, I asked Liam, should we just leave that rat there and let the townsfolk learn a little bit? Or should we take it back to base and study it? Because I don't know what more we can learn from this poisonous piece of trash.
Oh, I definitely want to hold on to it for a moment. I think the townsfolk are going to want to see what's been poisoning their water.
That's why I'm suggesting that we leave it behind and let them witness what might be infecting them.
I'm going to
Also-
go ahead and give you guys a common sense merit of that you can now you can choose to leave a giant mutated supernatural rat for the humans to find. Do know that that's definitely going to break the masquerade and might start making people ask questions. Just so you know, if you choose to do it, cool, awesome. We'll go for that. But just keep it's something you would all be very aware of, because this thing is bigger than any. Even by rat size, it looks huge because it's literally the size of a 100-pound dog.
I mean, there are many demons in this world, and some of them take strange forms.
Um,
Great, I'm
think
not
it might
leaving it there. I'm
be-
holding
you
on to it
guys,
right now.
you guys do your double shot, and you listen for a second, and everything is quiet down below. Wea's still an owl flying around somewhere.
And we can't hear that either.
Yeah. I will say, Wea, with your owl stats, give me a perception plus alertness down into the hole. Since you're the only one that has night vision.
4.
You look down, and as the water's slowly kind of rippling, you see 3 lumps floating. It looks like the one that Adele shot also didn't make it it didn't quite get it to the hole before it got to escape. So you see 3 lumps floating down there, plus the one that Liam dragged up with him seems to be the 4 rats that were chasing you guys, and you seem to have killed them all. At that, however, Atris comes running back up as she heard the gunshots, and you guys see a light come on in one window, and another, and another, and another, and you start hearing, "What was that? I don't know. Someone get the sheriff," and you start hearing the lights. You start hearing people and everything as you guys just had a shootout in the middle of town square. What are you guys doing? Are you staying, or are you making a run for it?
I think we're going to need a little bit of vanishing and a little bit of silence for the group.
I was just gonna say the same. I got that cloak. If you've got the Silentus,
Oh, yes, right away.
And I'll say you guys go ahead and you disappear, and we're gonna pick this up next week for what you guys do from here. Everyone gets an XP for showing up. Everyone gets an XP for being in danger. Tell me something badass you did or something your character learned. This time we're gonna start with Walter.
Walter learned that this twisted old ancient one is actually, well, twisted and bent to someone else's will, and that someone else's will might actually be the thing doing a lot of stuff here. Lyman knows who that is, but Walter sure doesn't.
Fair enough. Noah.
I shared a lot of information that I learned from my trip.
Yes. I'll say that if you want to name one of the things that you
I would say one of the more important messages and lessons I carried with me from that long trip was that there is at least one messenger going in and out from Taylorsville and heading outwards towards us.
yes. I'll give it to you for that. Leia, what did you learn, or something badass you did?
We learned that the elder can make those crazy dog rat beast crazy creature things.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go with something easy because I can't think of anything else complicated.
Yeah. Liam.
Liam learned he is susceptible to the Elder's influence because of Knott's blood.
Correct. Adele.
Aside from the pew-pew, also getting to do the spiritual realm astral projecting was pretty darn cool.
Very
I
useful
agree.
at that time too.
So you all get 3 XP. We'll play again next week. See where you guys decide to do with all these new information, how you do with destroying the sigil that seems to be expanding the Elder's corruption and
Boom goes the
influence.
dynamite.
Other than that, thank you all for joining us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you've been enjoying watching us fumble through these adventures. And hopefully we'll see you all next week. Like, subscribe, comment below. And until then, keep your wits and your fangs sharp. And we'll see you next time on Tumbleweeds and Tombstones. Have a great night.